All praise for what, man. Hey, I'm steaming, Willie beaming, man. Y'all saw it, man. Y'all saw what they doing. Somebody left a comment. They said they're putting some new software on y'all, man. Some new technologies, taking out the audios, man. I hope you never have to deal with the feeling of recording a 3-hour drop and then getting played with right after that. It's kind of like they want you to feel discouraged. Obviously, we are transitioning full time to our platform at 432thedrop.com where, we can record and do all that stuff without using all these third parties and all this other stuff. But anyway, man, I did a lot of software updates, man. Restarted this and that. So praise the while. We're going to get through it this time. And I ain't going to do no fluff, man. I'm just going to go right in. ThaWaDa, my knockers for tuning in. This is part 7. The addendum or something, I don't know, man. The sound version of part 7. And I'm going to play the clips that I played before, and this time with sound. And ThaWaDa for your patience, my knockers, and your great comments. Y'all were going, saying a little crazy like me, man, because, it was crazy. But y'all were way more patient than me, man. Cause y'all was like, man, it's all good, drop. Take your time, drop. These people crazy, drop. So I appreciate y'all for that. All right, man, hey, only the way. This time I'm going to start right here with it this time, man. See, these people mess up. See, when I have a chance to restart, it always gets better every time, man. All praise to Yahweh, Most High, over everything. We want to ask, we're not just playing clips, man. We're trying to get answers. You know what I'm saying? We're investigating fundamental questions of who we are. Why is it, okay for them? You know what I'm saying? Them, this tribe of people to, why don't they want to admit that they have any power? Why do they want to, seem like, everyone's just picking on them when Yeezy is showing, hey, look, man, you seem to own most of the table, which means you have influence over the whole table. And if you have influence over the, music industry and you're promoting a certain type of music, or you are at least allowing a lane for artists to, have life-changing contracts, you know what I'm saying? If they promote a certain type of music, killing and certain frequency, you promote a lane that exists for these people to come up. It's not like our people per se are owning all these companies and, what I'm saying, we got our people working for them, obviously. We got our people working behind the scenes. We know that. It's a more and more war. So it's not about, the white man this, the Jewish man that. Nah, we just like, who's the owners, who's backing this stuff, and why are you making money off of our downfall? Why does it seem like the downfall of Israel is to come up to the Gentile? And, obviously, they don't consider themselves the Gentile. They consider us the Goyim, right? The cattle, you know what I'm saying? So we're the beasts of the field and they are the, blessed, privileged, yada, yada. You know what I'm saying? Can't question them. Yet, stuff like this makes us say, is Yeezy crazy? This is a, older clip of this Jewish rabbi, Harry Rosenberg. He's admitting who the Nagas are. You know what I'm saying? Whether we're talking American Nagas, Nagas in Africa, wherever Nagas are. You know what I'm saying? So if they have their own people admitting to this, then why is Kanye crazy? Why is Kyrie crazy? Why does he owe anybody an apology when he says, I'm not anti-Shem because I am Israel? No one's trying to throw nobody on the bus. You are admitting it. Then we have to say, why are you promoting the death of Israel in terms of rap music or whatever the case is? You know what I'm saying? Like, why are you behind or profiteering off of our demise when you know that we are the tribes of Israel? Would you do this to your own people? No. So you couldn't be our people. Because according to your Torah, and you can't charge your brother's usury. You damn sure can't kill your own brother, right? According to the code. You can't profit off the death of your own brother if you're Israel, right? So if we're Israel, and I don't have to say it, I'm going to let them say it. If we're Israel, then how are you profiting off of our demise, off of our destruction? Because Yeezy said it, man. Hey, out to the cons, man. We're doing this for all my Nagas returning. We're doing this for Jerusalem, man. We're doing this for the 12 plus M.H.O.E 13 tribes of Israel, man. We're doing this for the Prester cons, man. The seeds of Khan David. This is why we're doing it and asking these questions. And oh, praise the while we got our sound right. Let go.
200 years after that the tribes of Israel went into exile, perhaps millions of Judeans were sold into slavery, into Africa, into Rome, deep into Africa. And if you look now, you're seeing people who are most likely the descendants of those slaves who kept true. I like to bring up a few specific examples because they're going to be game changers.
I'm going to back it up because these people, not these people, certain people, they speak with forked tongues. You think they're just big up in you and, you know, they're giving you enough meat for you to say, yeah, blacks are Israelites. But then look how he starts it. And I want you to catch it. You know, I want to see how sharp Drop Nation is. Let's start from the top. Again, fair use in your caboose, bone, copyright 107, yada, yada. We're doing some teaching, scholarship, some commentary. All right, let's go.
Of people with this identity right now of being from the people of Israel. Does that mean they were from the 10 tribes? Likely not. We were taught by the historians and within our own traditions that when the Romans conquered Judea, a few hundred years after that the tribes of Israel went into exile, perhaps millions of Judeans were sold into slavery, into Africa, into Rome, deep into Africa. And if you look now, you're seeing people who are most likely the descendants of those slaves who kept true. I like to bring.
So what I need you to catch here is that he ain't saying that you are original, you know what I'm saying, that we are originally, you know, black. You know, I'm just going to use their color terms. Originally black. It's almost like he's saying because of the migration into deep Africa, our skin changed to darker complexions. You know what I'm saying? He gives us a little bone while keeping their pillar. You know what I'm saying? That, yeah, we are the true, but you could be too because of a migration into Africa. And we say, man, you need to go read some James Adair, man. Cootie Mayo take the wheel, man. You need to read some real descriptions of the customs of the indigenous people of America and know that we always have been looking like this. We didn't have to go deep into Africa to get copper color skin tone, man. The whole earth is melanated, man. You know what I'm saying? And if the Aboriginals in Australia and the Aboriginals in Europe and the Aboriginals all throughout Asia look the same, then so do the Aboriginals of America, man, and Africa, man. You know what I'm saying? Which means the indigenous people, first people, seeds of the creator have to match have to match the earth, the soil, this brown, deep copper, light to dark, all that spectrum that we got is in tune with the earth plane, man. Is in tune with our spiritual connection. And that's original. And that's not a slight. And no one's, you know what I'm saying, there's just no name blaming going on. You know, we just saying, like, stop trying to make it look like we just turned so-called black, so-called copper, brown color. You know what I mean? Stop acting like, oh, they came out of Judea and just migrated into Africa. Man, this is the kingdom of Judah right here in America. Because we see clearly.
To bring up a few specific examples because they're going to be game changers. One of them wrote letters to Israel when it became a state. And they said, we're Israelites out in Africa. You know, everyone laughed at them and they said, African Israelites, these people are just trying to jump on the first world country bandwagon.
Yeah, they're just culture vultures. Look at his face. Same thing that the Native Americans was telling. Oh, So-called natives, you guys are just trying to jack our culture. You blacks want to be everything. Just be Africans, please. Just be African. Why do you got to be the first Europeans? We didn't say we was the first Europeans. We're looking at the paintings on the walls of Lima, Peru, with Charles V, and they're calling him the first subsequent European emperor. We know what the Europeans look like. We see our family crest. We can see the connection between this Asia here and that Asia there. We know that this is the beginning, the vortex. Yeah, man. We don't have to be culture vultures, man. By claiming us, you want to reverse psychology as, oh, you're just being culture vultures. No, you've already been a culture vulture. Matter of fact, you've been a thief. If you've participated knowingly or unknowingly, conscious or subconscious, in stealing the identity of a whole people, we are forced to ask, who are you? Who is you, man? If you're not the European, who are you people? See, people don't go far enough. You say, all right, well, they're not Israel. They're just Eastern Europeans. Yeah, nah. The original Eastern Europeans were still melanated. This is facts. Look at this, dig up. Just find what they're digging up. If you're not European, what are you? And that's not a slight. We are investigating us, and by default, we investigate you. By default. It's not a conspiracy. We know that the oldest bones and all throughout Asia is going to look like us. East or west. So the $64 million question, like my dad would say, like my Abba would say, the $64 million question is, who are you? Where did you come from? Who created you if you're not a part of the original creation? Why do you feel so insecure? Why must you steal the identities of entire tribes, especially the tribe that's connected to Hawa directly through a inheritance? Why must you steal the entire inheritance or attempt to by keeping us out of code? Shout out my bro Zion Trey. My Jigga man had a great convo. Zion was like, it's in the music, especially the business, and Kanye gonna say the same thing. Top 10 songs in Apple are gonna promote serial killing, man. Naga serial killing. Ops and sliding on this and sliding on that. So they have to get us out of code. It's like all the music's gonna be about breaking the code, stealing and killing and idolatry and vanity and all of it. It's like they have to know the code to get us to break the code. And then they call us a culture vulture, right?
They're living in a third world country. They got nothing. We're coming to Israel. We got innovation, technology.
Look how he's bigging himself up while supposedly keeping it real. How did you guys get so black? Ha ha ha. African Israelites, you're in a third world country. You're not even advanced like us. Do you know who you're talking to? Have you heard of Atlantis? Have you heard of Lemuria? Have you heard of this high-tech ancient civilizations, man? That aren't really so ancient. That these are the same people. They're in low-tech vibration based on us being out of code. We lost our own technology. And then these people come in, certain people come in, steal the identity, and then make us feel like we just are some low-grade, third world people that are just happy to, be at your table. They want us, they think we're trying to be at their table. Again, we don't need a seat at your table. We have an amethyst table, you know what I'm saying? Crystal, copper, golden, diamond table, sapphire table. We don't need your shitty ass, chewed up, wooden, diseased ass table, abominable table with your abominable feast. We're not trying to have a seat at your table, man. Oh, third world. If we're third world, then what's the first world? I'll wait. What's the first world? Yeah, the first world is the ancient ones, the indigenous ones that you're invading. That's the first world. You can't be first world if you're not original on any part of the earth.
Bandwagon. They're living in a third world country. They got nothing. We're coming to Israel. We got innovation, technology. So they're trying to get on this train because there's such a thing called the right of return. All descendants of the Jewish people from around the world are able to move to Israel. So they said we are also. And everyone kind of laughed at them, like I said. And a few people took it serious and went out there and started studying them, learned about their culture. And a professor from Duke University went out there and did DNA testing on them. And he showed not only do they share Semitic genes from people who were in Yemen and back to the Middle East, these gentlemen, a large percent of them, have the Y chromosome to be Kohanim, to be priests. Now, if anyone who doesn't know, a priest...
Kohan is how they say Khan in Yiddish. Kohanim, Khans. They are priests. Now, were they always there in Africa, these particular Y chromosome people? Or did they, get captured on slave ships from America, from Brazil, Guatemala, Haiti? Let's go.
Priest is a specific family clan of the nation of Israel who come from Aaron, the brother of Moses, who was the first priest. And anyone descended from Aaron has the status title priest. And we found that these men in this village in South Africa called Lemba, L-E-M-B-A, carry this genetic marker to let us know that they share the same as from the Sephardic and the Ashkenaz and the population of the people in Israel today. They share the same exact DNA.
How can the Ashkenaz share something if they converted? See, this is when they ain't making no sense. We don't want to see at your DNA Y chromosome table. You're looking at maternal, whatever. We're looking at the seed. You're not talking about the seed of the father of whose tree you belong to. You're talking about grafting a new tree based on your sciences. Let me get this part again, man. It's cray, man.
And we found that these men in this village in South Africa called Lemba, L-E-M-B-A, carry this genetic marker to let us know that they share the same as from the Sephardic and the Ashkenaz and the population of the people in Israel today. They share the same exact DNA marker.
DNA is irrelevant if you convert it. Okay, can somebody leave a comment, make it make sense? Just let me know I ain't going crazy. These people are just talking. Not these. Some people be talking with forked tongues. Why is he talking DNA if they're converts? If they admittedly are converts. They're not saying they have the same DNA as King David. And this Lemba tribe in South Africa, how long have they been in South Africa? Even they say they migrated from Israel or Asia. But where's Asia?
That's mind-blowing. So everyone kind of got humbled a little bit who laughed at them and said, now what? Now what do we do about this? This could have tremendous implications. Another area in Africa you have something big happening is in Nigeria.
Uh-oh.
You have the Igbo people.
Uh-oh. Now we know the Igbo are the Hebo. You know what I'm saying? These days, of course, you got a lot of admixtures with, Shem and Ham and different things happening in Africa. But, you got mixtures with Shem and Ham or Shem, Moab and this, all kind of stuff. So that's not the point is, when did they get to Nigeria? Nigeria as a name hasn't always been on the map. You have Negro land, you got all kind of different things. Gold Coast and all this, man. But a lot of my Nagas in Nigeria were originally from America. North, South, and Central. And the lands that are under the water. So, just because someone's there right now, that's why, their DNA markers and, found genetic traces in this area and that area. You got different people passing through, different people migrating, but we're looking for the origin story. And we ain't saying that all black people must come from America. We're saying that the original creation, the original pop offness, when we talk about, you know what I'm saying, the lands being connected, you know what I mean, and all that vortex popping off. You know, you're talking about Peru, Mana, you're talking Cusco, you're talking, you know, so-called North America, you're talking Cathay, you're talking India Superior. And a lot of my Nagas are coming right out of India Superior. Go look on the maps. India Superior is so-called North America. This is ancient world, ancient land. And a lot of my Nagas were taken from here, dropped off over there in Nigeria, which is why the Igbo tribe has been at war with all their neighboring tribes since the jump. They said, whoa, what are you doing here? Taking our resources. Where you come from? Man, you came from India Superior, man. We're talking Hebrews. We're talking HaWaDa, Judah, Yudah. We already home. This ain't no guesswork. We're going against all this grain, all the mainstream by making these statements. We ain't agreeing with our public school education no more, man. If racist Tommy says go back to Africa and scholar Mike says go back to Africa, how the hell does scholar Mike and racist Tommy have the same scholarship? How can all your hard, dedicated books and writing to the Horace Butlers and whoever's saying, oh, it has to be over here, racist Tommy know that too? Racist Tommy, right? He's in his dirty ass wife beater saying, go back to Africa, nigger. He's telling us to go back to Africa. And then Scholar Mike is telling us to go back to Africa. And both of y'all got the same level of scholarship, huh? All your reading has agreed with racist Tommy all this time. The KKK, all y'all got the same scholarship. Or is everything in reverse? And you got to empty your cup to see clearly. One more minute.
Or Igbo, pronounced either way. There's 40 million of them. Also Christians, like I spoke about before, how that could happen to the children of Israel very easily. But also a lot of them are now coming out and converting back or adopting the rules of the Torah without all the paganism that they've been practicing.
Paganism. Wow, he just went right there. Even they're telling these Christians that all that is paganism. Easter, Halloween, Christmas, paganism. And how can it happen so easily to the children of Israel? I don't know. Maybe the children of Israel was already going after false gods and idolatry. Maybe we're a sucker for idolatry since the Egyptian times, since the Atlantean times. All these false foreign gods right here in America. You know how it can happen so easily if you're invaded by conquistadors that say convert or die?
Practicing for hundreds of years. There's been books written about it from scholars in Nigeria, from scholars from the Jewish people. And where it gets interesting is, in America, there was a slave trade.
Oh.
And a lot of the slaves, a very high percentage of them, came from Western Nigerian ports.
See what I'm saying? Now we came from Western instead of it being the other way around. And he says it with a straight face, knowing damn well it's a lie. He's giving you some truth, but he's not letting you know that you are the originals and you were taken from here, brought to Nigeria. And the ones that were already there were being kicked out because they were Hebrews, and they were being kicked out by the other Hamitic tribes to get out of there and stop taking their resources because you came with your own customs, you came with your own flow. See, all of their controlling of business and controlling of whatever industries, they're kind of mimicking and mocking the children of Israel because you always had your own flow, your own industrial everything. You know, you were very, you know, self-sufficient. You know what I'm saying? We didn't need outside sources like that. You know what I'm saying? They try to run like we were running, you know, running the flow. You know, we're the head. They're mimicking being the head. We got the power. Ahab says power is mine. Ahmad's not rocking with these people. You know, some people, you know, these other tribes. They're not moving with wisdom, speaking all this lies.
And in America today, you see a very large movement of African Americans who say that they're the real chosen people, that they're the...
Now the African Americans became Israelites because we came from Nigeria. Is that what you're saying, man?
children of Israel. They're the Judeans. So what are they just trying to create an identity for themselves because they were slaves, or is there really something here?
Whoa.
And the answer is most likely there is something there. And most likely maybe that they were the original Israelites, and maybe that the...
Whoa. He had to spit it out finally, but look, he didn't do it, wholeheartedly. He kind of squirmed it out. Maybe they are the original Israelites. Notice he came to America first, then started talking about originality. Just notice how the flow worked. He came to America, then started talking about original Israel, right? Pay attention.
There's been books written about it from scholars in Nigeria, from scholars from the Jewish people. And where it gets interesting is, in America, there was a slave trade. And a lot of the slaves, a very high percentage of them, came from Western Nigerian ports. And in America today, you see a very large movement of African Americans who say that they're the real chosen people, that they're the children of Israel, they're the Judeans. So what are they just trying to create an identity for themselves because they were slaves, or is there really something here?
We weren't slaves, man. We were prisoners of war because we were invaded in America. And they invaded the kingdom of Israel. They invaded Jerusalem. They invaded Judah. Read the books.
And the answer is most likely there is something there. And most likely maybe that they were the original Israelites, and maybe that the Jewish people today who are white, Caucasian people came in a little bit later on.
A little bit later on? See, once you let the cat out the bag, it's a wrap. You can't admit to coming in later and say it's a little bit later. You got to say the fool, Monty, say we converted, at the earliest in the 8th century, AD. And y'all have been Israelites for thousands of years before our conversion. Y'all have been, without that term Israelites, because again, Israel never said the word Israel. You know what I'm saying? They're throwing these terminologies out. I don't get caught up in the name game. I'm just using it to make a point. But we already been chosen. You know what I'm saying? We already been chosen. You know what I mean? You're saying you came in later and now you're also chosen. How can you come in later and be also self-proclaimed chosen? Did the Creator say you were chosen? Did someone lie to you and say if you convert, you're chosen? That's like Christianity, spiritual Israel. We're spiritual Israel now. As long as we go through the Son, wash away our sin. You know what you got to do to wash away your sins? Start keeping the code. Develop a personal relationship with Hawa that doesn't come unless you're listening to Hawa by keeping the code. Maybe we came a little later than these original Israelites in America.
Where it gets interesting is, in America, there was a slave trade. And a lot of the slaves, a very high percentage of them, came from Western Nigerian ports. And in America today, you see a very large movement of African Americans who say that they're the real chosen people, that they're the children of Israel, they're the Judeans. So what are they just trying to create an identity for themselves because they were slaves, or is there really something here? And the answer is most likely there is something there. And most likely maybe that they were the original Israelites.
Maybe that they were. Maybe. The original Israelites. If we are the original Israelites, then your conversion doesn't have shit to do with DNA. So you bringing up some DNA Ashkenazi connection with Y chromosomes of the Lemma tribe is asinine. It's malarkey. If you're a convert, no one cares about your DNA. I'm just saying in general when you talk about original. If there's original and there's convert and you came in maybe later, who the fuck cares about connecting to your DNA or sitting at your table? Why do you feel more chosen than the actual original nigga nagas in America and all across the earth plane? Why must we sit at your table? Why do we have to hear from you that we're the original? Why doesn't the original voice, scream way louder than the convert voice? Why aren't we more concerned about, connecting to these originals? Because if these African Americans are originals, wouldn't you be using this original African American DNA to prove anybody else is Israel? Why are we using convert DNA? Why do we care about being connected by DNA to you if we have nothing to do with you because you converted and you're not original based on your admission?
But also, a lot of them are now coming out and converting back or adopting the rules of the Torah without all the paganism that they've been practicing for hundreds of
We're keeping the code.
years. There's been books written about it from scholars in Nigeria, from scholars from the Jewish people. And where it gets interesting is, in America, there was a slave trade. And a lot of the slaves, a very high percentage of them, came from Western Nigerian ports. And in America today, you see a very large movement of African Americans who say that they're the real chosen people, that they're the children of Israel, they're the Judeans. So what are they just trying to create an identity for themselves because they were slaves, or is there really something here? And the answer is, most likely there is something there. And most likely, maybe that they were the original Israelites, and maybe that the Jewish people today who are white, Caucasian people came in a little bit later on. We know that some of the greatest sages of the transmission of the Torah were converts from Rome.
Somebody dropped their whole shit. He looked at him like, yeah, my bad. He just said convert, right? I mean, we already put it together because he made a distinction between original Negroes in America being the original Israel, and he just said convert out of his own mouth. So again, who cares about a convert DNA? You can't use convert DNA, Ashkenazi DNA, and Ashkenaz, according to the book of Genesis, is the seed of Japheth. Gomer, that's not Shem. So you're not even in a position to say anything about anti-Shem, anti-Shemitic. If you're not Shem, especially if you converted, and now, because you've been lying this whole time, you know how you catch somebody in a line and they finally admit to lying? Now it's like, what else have you been lying about? It's hard to trust you. It's not our fault. You just broke our confidence. Now we have to say, are you Ashkenazi? Are you actually an original seed of Japheth? Or did you do the same thing, hijack this identity, and, keep saying it until it becomes a fact because you keep saying it, but you're not even admitting to being Japheth, but you are admitting to being Ashkenaz? And Ashkenaz is the seed of Japheth, not Shem. But are you that? Are you a European? Do you have anything to do with the Torah at all? Or did you just adopt all this stuff? That's why we're looking at you like this, man.
They're the children of Israel, they're the Judeans. So what are they just trying to create an identity for themselves because they were slaves?
And stop calling these people Khazars, man. The original Khazar, was originally Mazaka. Mazaka was originally Mosak. Mosak is the original name of this Byzantine empire before it turned into Cappadocia. Mosak was named after Mosak, the founder, who's an intriguing primal ancestor, they say. We're talking Shemitic, we're talking Moses. We're talking Asia, right? Byzantine, right? And didn't the Byzantine Empire fall 1 year after the 1452 Papal Bull? Didn't the Byzantine Empire get attacked 1 year after they said subjugate and vanquish all enemies of their Christ? Yeah, that was 1452. The Byzantine Empire fell in 1453. We know what fell with that? Mazaka, Mosak. They changed the name to Khazaria. Khazar is like Caesar, right? Khazar, Caesar. Hard K, soft C. Caesar, Khazar. Czar itself means prince or ruler. You know what I'm saying? So look, the Khan and the Czar are pretty much synonymous. So they can't take the Czar title or Khazar title or Caesar title without taking an indigenous Hebrew Khan title, because those are one and the same thing. Hey, we see absolutely clearly, Manak.
They were slaves, or is there really something here? And the answer is, most likely there is something there. And most likely, maybe that they were the original Israelites, and maybe that the Jewish people today who are white, Caucasian people came in a little bit later on. We know that some of the greatest sages of the transmission of the Torah were converts from Rome.
Right. Drop your.
We have a man named Onkelos who wrote a commentary on the Torah, unprecedented, that we still learn today. He was a convert. Some of the largest pillars on the transmission today were Roman converts. So here we are, I'm speaking, we're Caucasian Jewish people. And now you have people in Africa saying that they're the real people of Israel. It can't be ruled out at all. We know they were sold into slavery. We know now that they're fulfilling prophecies by saying, we're coming back.
We know they were sold into slavery. Well, I guess that's Deuteronomy 28. Were you sold into slavery? Oh, you're going to bring up the 1947 situation. And again, when you deal with the Ashkenazis and Nazis, you're going to have to dig a little further for yourself. Hey, fair use in your caboose ball. Shalak, man. Hey, look, you got Ashkenazis and you got Nazis, right? I'm gonna spell it Ashkenazi. How you say it? Okay. Let's slow it down. You have Ashkenazis. Okay. And then you have Nazis. Right. I said you have Ashkenazis. And they have a beef with the Nazi, right? Is that a coincidence? Nazism? Or was it an internal family beef, family war, including situations, funding and all that, and with this Zionist situation, Rothschild situation, setting up a new state of Israel? Not because the creator wanted it, but because they wanted it politically, right? So, and they're saying this. I'm just repeating their talking points. We're going to play a couple clips from them. So it appears, it's almost like they had an ultimatum. You can leave Germany, stop portraying that you're these copper color melanated Judah Israelites, and you could start your own theater. That's pretty much a theater. You can go to the state of Israel, Rothschild, we're going to fund this thing. Rothsteins and them. If you don't go, you stay in Germany, keep pretending like you're Israel. And we don't like that. The Nazis aren't going to like that, because you're pretending to be somebody else. Or if you're going to pretend, be full pretenders and go to the new state of Israel and notice all this is happening at the same time. Right? You got their Holocaust happening at the same time as the state of Israel is popping up. Pretty much, you know what I'm saying? Holocaust dates. Okay. 33 to 1945. Got it. State of Israel. Founded. 1948. So right at the end, so-called, of this timeline of the Holocaust, you have a new state of Israel popping off, funded by these, Rothschild situations, whatever it's called. You know what I mean? So it's political. If you didn't want to get out of Germany and help perpetuate this lie that Israel is over there and that the Creator has chosen you to come home in 1948, when we know that if HaWa didn't put his sanctuary among you, it ain't time to, you can't bear false witness on HaWa. You can't bear false witness on the Creator. And those that didn't want to bear false witness on the Creator, they stayed behind and they went through, according to their, their history, this great period of suffering. We don't condone any suffering because we've been suffering. Like Kanye say, 20 million, black babies are just being aborted. That's our Holocaust right there, 20 million. But then you got the Indigenous Holocaust, the American Holocaust, hundreds of millions. So we don't like to see no suffering, but we still are being crucified today. Not in the media and people calling us this and anti that and all this stuff. We're being lynched and murdered, and this whole murder culture is being propagated on us today. And who's benefiting from it? Let's go back. Nazi, Ashkenazi, right? Ashkenazi, Gomer, Genesis. just covering some bases. Ashkenazi, Gomer, Genesis. Got it. Come on, man. There we go. Genesis 10:3. So Ashkenaz, they just took the I off. These are the sons of Gomer, man. The descendants of Gomer were Ashkenaz, Repath, and Togor-Ma. All right. Just stop the play. And if you're really a descendant of Gomer, you got to prove that at this point. Now you got to prove to be this. You know what I'm saying? Because we're just catching you slipping all over the place. Are you Ashkenaz? All right, so you're a seed of Gomer. You're not Shem. Remember, the term anti-Semitic don't exist in the 1828 Noah Webster Dictionary, but Dragon do. And we know that these people that have been fighting for their families and fighting for their lives are called violent, called fierce, male and female. These people are dragons. That's that fire you feeling right now. You want to call us anti-Semitic? No results found. But anti-Shem, or let's just say, does Semitic exist? Nope. This is their dictionary. It's not the nigga dictionary. This is their dictionary. But the Shemitic exist. So you just got to put the H back in there. I think Leona said they took the H out because they took out the ha. They took out the breath. Wow. Now we're talking Shem. We can't be anti-Semitic. That don't exist. We can't be anti-Shemitic because y'all just admitted that we're the original Hebrews. Y'all admitted that. You are admitting that. We just played it. Got it. Can we be anti-American? How about that? There is anti-American, love the Aqua battle. Opposed to America. Now, what America? We talking Indigenous America or hijack America? Y'all let me know. Y'all decide. Opposed to America or to the true interest or government of the United States. So this is hijack America. So if you're opposed to the government, you're anti-American. Or if you're opposed to the revolution. Whoa. Whoa, whoa, whoa. So if you're opposed to the revolution in America, now whose revolution? The Indigenous, Hebrew, copper color Khan, Indian, African American Black revolution, or the government revolution? See, they called it a revolution in America. I need you to understand. They called it a revolution in America. But now when we talk revolution, they want to say, no, you that must be domestic terror, right? These people must be thugs if you want to revolt against our government. But the government itself is a revolution because you had to kill and steal hundreds of millions, kill hundreds of millions of innocent Nagas to get your revolution. What is a revolution? A rotation. Okay. Circular motion on this axis. All right. Y'all know what I'm saying. In politics, a material or entire change in the Constitution. So if you're against the entire change of the government coming into this land, you're anti-American. Let's keep going. Or you're just talking about going backwards. All right. Fair use of your caboose. I'm having fun. I pray the sound is good and ThaWaDa for your patience again. Let's go to that, clip that we were dropping last time.
Hungry for something new, something golden? For limited time, indulge yourself with Capriati's extraordinary golden cheesesteak. A Capriati's classic or American.
Fair use. We're going to get this again. I'm just going to let it flow and do some commenting afterwards. And again, there's a lot of sound noise, that you couldn't hear last time, but it's very annoying. And he's going to address it around the 3-minute mark. I'm just going to let it play, and then it gets better. It gets much better. Man, one of my Aquas also just dropped this. She said, I'm sorry, I just don't have the name in front of me, but Ahab Aqua. This is new, I guess. This is relatively new. I guess they, are dropping on their version of what a Black Hebrew Israelite is. And you just heard this Jewish person admit that these African Hebrews, as well as these American Hebrews, are original or might be. And it's just crazy how they just can't get their stuff together. You know what I'm saying? They're going to act like this is just a conspiracy theory. Black supremacist cults. Well, we are cultivating, and we do care about agriculture, comprised of African Americans who believe that they are the descendants of ancient Israelites. Subgroups believe Native and Latin Americans are descendants of the Israelites as well. Black Hebrew Israelites combine elements to their teachings from a wide range of sources. To varying degrees, Black Hebrew Israelites incorporate certain aspects of the religious beliefs of both Christianity and Judaism. Stop it. Christianity is taking their beliefs from the Hebrews. Judaism is an ism of Judah. Period. Though they have created their own interpretation. So our research is just an interpretation, right? So, and then they got Freemasonry and New Thought, everything mixed up. They just mix it up. Then they went into how it originated in the 19th century. No. The Hebrews are already original. We just heard that from them. So they didn't just originate in the 18th century. These Hebrews were being invaded already in the 18th century or 19th century, 1800s. But they want to put it on this Frank Cherry situation, founder and leader of one of the early Israelite groups, and William Saunders. I'm sure my bro Nine Spiral, he's taking the wheel already, exposing all this origin of these camps and different things. But yeah, they put a lot of, paganism to this day, a lot of Christianity in these Israelite camps. We know that. Their Yahweh is their Jesus, and they all love Jesus. Messianic connection to Jesus. They think Jesus is a Messiah. They'll tell you to your face, praise Jesus. Praise Zeus to your face, man, right? Yeah, so, I'm going to leave the lane. Y'all check it out. You got the Commandment Keepers. You got all these different camps popping off. You got the Ben Ami, Ben Israel, all that. From Chicago, Illinois, popping off Demona and all that. So they go into all that, man. But it's just funny that to them it's just some interpretation when we just are hearing the rabbi saying to our face, well, that it's a little deeper than interpretation. Now this rabbi is gonna go a little more into it. We're gonna get some more of this rabbi flow. Right now, let's play a game of Yeezy Said It. And again, don't mind the noise at first, it gets better. Let go.
Always be in your heart, and I wanted to wear my shirt just to represent the government. And I just want to say my heart goes out to you, and I don't have anything else to say, bro. I just want to give you your flowers and continue doing everything that you're doing. We're on your side, bro.
Yeah, I really appreciate that. Just for you guys understanding the humanity. The very first time I was ever given some medication was actually related to an incident with paparazzi in front of the airport, where I wrestled down the same paparazzi that was following with me. And then they sent me an anger management class. I don't want to sign those right now, bro. I'm not going to sign them right now. Alright, so they sent me this anger management class, and then the guy just gave me some medication, just like, yo, take this. I had never taken medication my entire life. And one doctor said, okay, this started like this slope or something. And, the interesting thing, they saw the heart text to me. People are looking over. The media has run all these stories smearing me for saying, hey, I can't be anti-Semitic if I'm a Semite. Because I am. Because
you just said I'm a Semite versus going into the medication, if you can't hear it clearly. How they're just giving a medication, trying to make them go into anger management. And then the narrative becomes, oh, Kanye's off his meds, take his meds. And that's what I went into last time. You got people like Dame Dash, different people, oh, his meds, I'm just concerned for his health. It seems like when they don't want to necessarily condemn him, they just try to take the lane of maybe he's just crazy, he's off his meds. He's letting them know they're trying to force these meds. And if he didn't have his own mind and stop taking these meds or dodge these meds, imagine him switching these meds out on him. Imagine him trying to Michael Jackson him, Prince him, turn him into a vegetable because of this, medication, which is really just magic, potions, spells. Let's go.
That's who we are. Black people we don't have a flag. Our history's been stolen from us. You go to the African American Museum, it starts in slavery. It doesn't start before then. They don't talk about Mansa Musa. They don't talk about us being here before. So I want to read this text out to you again, right? Because people need to not forget this. So when I put up the tweet, I was going back and forth with Harley, saying, "Hey, I'm angry. I'm angry at how these Jewish business people have done, and so many of my friends." Are they doing? Can you tell me quiet?
Yeah.
Excuse me, disculpe, estamos haciendo video, por favor. Gracias. Thank you.
Is he still talking? Let me. So, and to this date, right? Y'all done seen everything be proven. I got kicked out of the banks. Ari Emanuel asked all these businesses to stop doing business with me. Now, yeah, I was in negotiation with Adidas because that was my issue. They were getting lawyers to sign over my IP, different things without me being aware of it, like people signing on my behalf. And this is part of the problems I had with Adidas. So now the world has got to see how Adidas was as a partner. The fact that they would attempt to steal my designs. And that's happened a lot in history, right?
Right.
But now y'all get to see it in real life. Like, and that's the difference. Like, let's read this Harley text out loud when he was threatening me, you know, forcing me to apologize, you know, about the frustration. And no one ever said, okay, this is what you're doing. Even the fact that TMZ is going to say Kanye West, right? And my name is legally Ye now. It's always some form of disrespect. No matter if you're the richest black man or what happens. What's up, bro? You part of this?
Sorry, it's ballet.
There's what?
It's ballet. Please look at it. Oh, ponte un poquito atrás.
Yeah, por favor, gracias.
Gracias. Thank you.
Just go over there, man. We don't need you right now. It's just that he was a part of the whole making noise over there.
Yeah.
All right, so let me read these Harley texts.
Let's get this text and pay attention to disrespect. These people think we want a seat at their table. He's going, I mean, this Yeezy has played their game.
Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship presents BKFC 33 live Friday, November 18th in the main event.
This is what we realize, we're playing their game.
This is a
The amount of
trainer,
disrespect
but
handler.
come to find out, he was actually Canadian intelligence, but this is my trainer. So this shows you the kind of handler.
So his trainer, he's finding out, is Canadian intelligence. This is what we were getting last time, even though you couldn't hear the audio. Imagine finding that out. Oh, you're going to dismiss it that he's crazy? Or is he's telling you the truth about everything else? If this dude is Canadian intelligence, he's been just literally sent to be close to him, close to his family like a handler. And you see he has no respect. They don't respect our money. They don't respect your accolades. They treat you like Goyim, right?
Handlers that are around the superstars in California, right? So it says, I'm going to help you one of a couple ways. First, you and I sit down and have a loving and open conversation, but you don't use cuss words. And everything that is discussed is based in fact, and not some crazy stuff that dumb friend of yours told you or you saw in a tweet. Second option, I have you institutionalized again, where they medicate the crap out of you and you go back to zombie land forever. Play date with the kids just won't be the same.
Now we just are catching up to the sacrifice flow. I mean, we the conscious community been talking sacrifices and all that, but man, you know, we investigate. I be hoping a lot of times the stuff that we investigate in terms of this sick, sadistic, evil, twisted stuff, I be hoping I'm wrong about it. I be hoping the world ain't as evil as we are finding it to be. You know, we got children. I just hope it, but obviously we're witnesses, you know, that it is what it is, you know what I mean? And rest in power, Takeoff, you know what I'm saying? You know, where does the sacrifice stuff? Well, we know where it starts. You know, where does it end? It's almost like they're going to pick us off until we unite and say, fine, you're going to sacrifice us anyway. It might as well be up. That's what Kanye's saying. It's up. Why? I ain't going to be your sacrifice. How many people are you going to pick off? Or do we just need to go head up? We gonna sit back and get picked off, or we gonna go head up? Kanye say it's up.
This is the way a Hollywood trainer was talking to me to force me to go and like apologize, right? But even though they ended the deals, and you know, Farrakhan said, hey, you know, did he really ever have it? Let me explain to Farrakhan what that meant. I mean, my contract for Adidas was for 4 more years. My royalty was $500 million a year. That's what I meant when I said the $2 billion was lost in a day. Because of the negotiation with Adidas, I wanted to negotiate something where it's like, okay, you guys, you'll take the Yeezy, but we still get the royalties. And people saw, it's like when we dealt with George Floyd, different things, I'm the one put the money up. You know what I'm saying? I put $2 million. I always support it in every one of these situations. So you think about if Harley was part of intelligence, right? What kind of people you think are surrounding my kids? What kind of people you think are in that house right now? My kids go to Sierra Canyon. It's a Jewish school that doesn't teach Christianity, teach Christian kids. At Christmas time, they're teaching Kwanzaa to black kids. They say, hey, this is your Christmas. This is all indoctrination. This is all mind control. You gotta understand, like I don't believe I'm putting myself at risk, because I think God uses me for a time like this. He put me in this situation and had y'all follow me from George Bush Don't Care to Beyonce Had the Best Video to now. For some reason, y'all are interested. 2 Chainz said, YSL belt buckle. Well, y'all niggas shoulders looking. Like, y'all are interested for some reason. And they wanted to medicate me every day. You realize, like, they could have just switched to medication and I wouldn't be here. And on the news, they would have said it was because of a mental issue, right? Yeah. I ain't never been back to the hospital since 2015, but every time they say I'm crazy, it's just when I'm saying the truth. So what's the crazy part, really? What's the crazy part, really?
Is Yeezy crazy? It looks like his eyes are wide open to me, man. And we ain't afraid of crazy, because we crazy. So what crazy are you? Are you crazy and misinformed crazy? Are you crazy speaking facts crazy? What crazy? We got all the types of crazy in our families. You're not going to scare us with the crazy narrative. We're going to say, what crazy are you? Are you mass murderer crazy? Or are you just popping off and they don't like what you say crazy? Because it looks like he's admitting he ain't taking his meds. Now they're going to spin that, oh, you crazy because you ain't on your meds. He's saying, I would be dead if I was on my meds. And they're not my meds. This is poison.
They can't scare you. They can't control you. They can't. They try to suppress you, but that's how they try to categorize
They
you.
can't control me. You get what I'm saying? They can control Shaq. They can control Charles Barkley. They can control LeBron James. They can control Jay-Z and Beyonce.
But not you, man.
But they can't control me.
Not
You see, it
you.
ain't no name I won't name.
Exactly.
It's up.
Not you.
You know what I'm saying? And just for Minister Farrakhan, I love you, but the way you read that, I took that as a slight. You know what I'm saying? I'm taking no disrespect from nobody, so let's get on the phone and let's talk that out. I don't care who you are. I ain't taking no slice from nobody, right? I ain't taking no slice from nobody. It's God. That's the only person that I serve. My mom ain't here. My mama was sacrificed.
Me too.
You understand?
Yeah. I'm Christian.
Michael Jordan, what about him? His daddy, right? Bill Cosby, his son, right? Dr. Dre, his son. You're out in Hollywood, a lot of people come up missing. Feels like it might be a lot of that in order to control, traumatize. They want to monetize and traumatize. And God loved me. You understand? They hit me. Gap, Adidas, all that away. Still, Forbes, who hate me, right? Had to write net worth 400 million. Jesus is king.
All right, Kanye. Okay, Kanye. KHANtinues is the Khan forever, Ezekiel 37. But check it. He said they want to monetize and traumatize. Man, meditate on that, man. Traumatize and monetize, monetize and traumatize. They feed off of your fear, your trauma. Even with these celebrities. Like I said, it's like being the house Negro. But not all house Negroes are truly house Negroes. Some of them are field Negroes. Field Negroes in disguise. Ready to pop off and play the field. Ready to get that real dangerous freedom popping off. Some field Negroes are closet house Negroes. Acting like they, with freedom, but really they are there as plants, to keep you pacified. Is Yeezy crazy? Let's back it up, because this was a real key part that we're not used to. Celebrities on $1 billion or $400 million level admitting that they either took part in sacrifice or that they lost somebody they love because of it. And, like I said last time, watching that M.H.O.E interview with the baby, he mentioned his brother and his dad died when he was at the peak of his fame. And, even Math was like, do you think that was karma? And he was like, what do you mean, like a sacrifice? Like, they know what's up, man. Is it worth giving up the people closest to you to be a part of their go along, get along gang? Ahab to the Kwame. Is it worth it? If you knew that in order to be a star, a TV star, movie star, music star, or a sports athlete star, whatever star, to be a star, to get your star in Hollywood, to get your star, be a star, you're going to have to give up your heart, your soul, your mother.
Of intelligence, right? What kind of people you think are surrounding my kids? What kind of people you think are in that house right now? When my kids go to Sierra Canyon, it's a Jewish school that doesn't teach Christianity to these Christian kids. At Christmas time, they're teaching Kwanzaa to black kids. They say, hey, this is your Christmas. This is all indoctrination. This is all mind control. You gotta understand, like, I don't believe
Christianity is mind control, and Christianity is indoctrination. Let's go.
I'm putting myself at risk, because I think God uses me for a time like this. He put me in this situation and had y'all follow me from George Bush Don't Care to Beyonce Had the Best Video to now. For some reason, y'all are interested. 2 Chainz said, why sell belt buckle? Well, y'all niggas shoulders looking. Like, y'all are interested for some reason. And they wanted to medicate me every day. You realize, like, they could have just switched to medication and I wouldn't be here. And on the news, they would have said it was because of a mental issue.
Whoa.
Right? I ain't never been back to the hospital since 2015. But every time they say I'm crazy, it's just when I'm saying the truth. So what's the crazy part, really? What's the crazy part, really?
If they can't scare you, they can't control you, they can't. They try to suppress you, but that's how they try to categorize
They
you.
can't control me. You get what I'm saying? They can control Shaq. They can control Charles Barkley. They can control LeBron James. They can control Jay-Z and Beyonce.
But not you, man.
But they can't control me. You
Not
see, it
you.
ain't no name I won't name.
Exactly.
It's up.
It's up.
Not you.
You know what I'm saying? And just for Minister Farrakhan, I love you, but the way you read that, I took that as a slight. You know what I'm saying? I'm taking no disrespect from nobody, so let's get on the phone and let's talk that out. I don't care who you are. I ain't taking no slice from nobody, right? I ain't taking no slice from nobody. It's God. That's the only person that I serve. My mom ain't here. My mama was sacrificed.
Me too.
You understand?
Yeah. I'm Christian too.
Michael Jordan, what about him? His daddy, right? Bill Cosby.
Man, rest in power, Donda, man. She seemed like a real powerful, just powerful aqua, man, powerful sister, man. And, man, she had to lose her life for Kanye's fame? Now, did he know about it or did he not know about it? It seemed like later he said, I didn't kill nobody. So he's almost saying or admitting he didn't have anything to do with her death, but he did. You know what I'm saying? At the same time, it's crazy, man.
His son, right? Dr. Dre, his son. You know, out in Hollywood, a lot of people come up missing. Feels like it might be a lot of that in order to control, traumatize. They want to monetize and traumatize. And God loved me. You understand? They hit me. Gap, Adidas, all that away. Still, Forbes, who hate me, right, had to write net worth 400 million. Jesus is king. God loved me.
That's more important than thinking in life.
That's the thing. You know what I'm saying? And this truth is going to be heard. Y'all can't send none of y'all Meek Mills, y'all Puffies, y'all Lil Boozies, none of these names, none of these people that have to listen to y'all because they dealing have legal. I never killed nobody, right? I'm the pussy that never killed nobody, right? But that means I can say whatever I want.
So again, is that insinuating he said Meek Mill, Puffy, Lil Boosie, that they had to, you know, do some type of, you know, this type of activity to get their situation? Or is he saying that in the streets, they known for being killers or whatever the case is, and he's the pussy, he's the one who they calling soft, you know, which layer is he addressing with this? But it's clear that he sees them as controlled opposition. They're telling us that Kanye's controlled opposition. He's calling out Meek Mill, Boosie, and Diddy and whoever else, Jay-Z, Beyonce. He's saying they're controlled opposition. You can't control me. They're the real controlled opposition. Man.
Son, right? Dr. Dre, his son. You know, out in Hollywood, a lot of people come up missing. It feels like it might be a lot of that in order to control, traumatize. They want to monetize and traumatize. And God loved me. You understand? They hit me. Gap, Adidas, all that away. Still, Forbes, who hate me, right, had to write net worth 400 million. Jesus is king. God loved me.
That's more important than thinking in life.
That's the thing. You know what I'm saying? And this truth is going to be heard. Y'all can't send none of y'all Meek Mills, y'all Puffies, y'all Lil Boozies, none of these names, none of these people that have to listen to y'all because they're dealing with, they have legal. I never killed nobody, right? I'm the pussy that never killed nobody, right? But that means I can say whatever I want and not go to jail. And even if they did figure out a way, I'm still not backing down from what I said. It's Jewish people that did bad business. I'm Semite, so I can't be anti-Semitic.
Is Yeezy crazy? Ain't that the same thing that the rabbi just said? Not only are you Semite, Kanye, you are Shem, because Semite don't exist in the 1828 Noah Webster Dictionary. Kanye, not only are you Shem, but you're original Shem. You're original Israel, original Hebrew. The rabbi just admitted it. Is Kanye crazy? He ain't been to the hospital since 2015. You can't keep saying, oh, he's just in and out the psychiatric. Nah, man. That's 7 going on 8 years ago. You probably been to the doctor, you know what I'm saying, more recent than Kanye. He's giving you a reason why he ain't taking no medications from you, man. That's like us saying, why don't we get your tenderonis? You know, whatever you want to put in our body, let's just line up to do it. We have to trust you first. That's the situation. It's a trust issue. We're the Indians. We were poisoned before with smallpox and all this, Tuskegee experiments, syphilises. Now we have to trust you, your government. But the issue is your government is in a revolution. Your government is in a entire change in the Constitution. Constitution existed before your government. We can't be anti-American unless we're opposed to the revolution. Kanye's talking about an entire change, a revolution. We are not anti-American, so we're not opposed to the revolution in America. Are you opposed to the revolution in America? Is anybody here opposed to this revolution happening right now in America? No, I'm not talking about their Civil War revolution, trying to break free from Black King George and them, Charles Kento and them, King James and them. Yeah, all the black royals they were trying to break away from. That's their revolution. They didn't want to pay the taxes. Yeah, we're not opposed to revolution in America at all. We are not anti-American. We are Americans. We rock with the revolution in America. Because Yeezy said it. And Yeezy said it, man. Now you see why they mess with our audio. And, like I said, I know we got friends behind the scenes in YouTube. I just know it, man. I believe it, man. And I pray that this time, we're able to get this one through. And I'm going to make sure I save these videos because we know that their objective is to wipe the whole internet clean of any truth. So we don't know how much longer any truth is going to be available. Flat drop, indigenous truth, frequency, any of it, man. You know what I'm saying? So we popping off, man. My knocks is popping off. And stays popping off, you know what I mean? In the flow. She's on that Sumerian flow heavy right now with the ears and the Incas. Go get him, Aqua. Go get him. You know what I'm saying? It's all about the investigation. Now, my bro Khan Fat is back. Very interesting. Just sidebar. We're talking about flat drop 101. No, you cannot hear any sounds in near empty regions of space. All right. So we're just wondering. My bro's doing some recon. Like, yo, can you hear any sound? We know you couldn't hear sound on the first video, but can you hear sound in space? Sound travels through the vibration of atoms and molecules in a medium, such as air and water. In space, where there is no air, sound has no way of traveling, right? So if you're in a vacuum, there's no sound. Huh? Got it? I mean, I'm not making this up. There's no sound if you're in a vacuum. So how are they saying in August 2022 that NASA has captured actual sound in space? Body bag for the illusion. Ping pow. Come on, man. To capture sound in space, you're saying that there's a medium for the sound, such as air or water. And if space is water, well, then you can capture sound. But if space is a vacuum, like NASA previously always says, how are you capturing actual sound, NASA? Make it make sense. Hey, man. Body bag, Confat, drop the drop, man. Melvin Trey said, what's up, Con Drop? The new Ye video on YouTube has no sound. No sound? Are we in a vacuum? Can't make this up, man. Not sure if that's you or YouTube, man. Man, come on, man. They over there going cray-cray because they're calling Yeezy cray-cray. Yeah. I just said, where's Asia? That's all. We just saying, where's Asia? So for them to admit that North Americans, Americans are original Ibarus, you're also connecting it with Cathay. You're also connecting it with China, original Asia, Florida, right? Mexico, which is just Paris. Man, I'm out of here, man. KRS-One got something to say. He had something to say last time too. You just couldn't hear him.
They owned all of rap.
Let's back it up with a big homie KRS-One, who's
gonna dust him off
that drop level
and say, yo, young blood, come on, let me show you something.
Let's go.
Let me protect you. No, they were the first ones to come in.
Yeah, Jay-Z's getting a lot of attention for different things right now, but it's all coming together. You know, KRS is like, how come y'all didn't protect Ye? Why didn't y'all protect Yeezy, man? You know, these are the things we trying to figure out. We come in the music industry. Where's the protection for the Naga? Where's the protection for the people?
Rip off. These are older blacks ripping off the talent of younger blacks. Black men are taking advantage of young black talent. We didn't get the fame. We didn't get the
Or are black, let's say, other tribes of blacks taking advantage of certain other tribes of Hebrews? What do you think happened in Africa? There was no African war when they picked up these slaves, so-called. They were put on boats by their own people that looked like them, but they weren't the same tribe. And sometimes they are the same tribe, but they just are the house Negro, right? They want to secure their deals. They want to secure their, agendas. You know what I'm saying? We don't know which is which, but we know it's been a more and more war. And a lot of these execs and people that rise up could easily be part of these other Confederate tribes that are against Israel. You dig?
Grammy. But we got the soul. What was whack about hip hop? The worst thing, 1979 Sugar Hill Records. Is the worst thing that ever happened in hip hop. When Sugar Hill Records came out, a woman named Sylvia Robinson and her husband Joey Robinson, they owned all of rap.
Okay.
If you could somehow phantom that in your head for a hot minute, there was one record label that had all the top rappers of the day on it, and no other company had that. Had we stuck together, black people would not be in this situation. They say hip-hop is a $10 billion culture every year. That's black people money we should be having. But black people rejected us and lost $10 billion a year.
KRS-One really goes deep.
$10 billion a year gone.
Black people rejected us. He's saying black people rejected black people, right? Or were these black people, Moabite, Ammonite, came like the same Psalms 83 Confederacy? What if, I don't know, but what if Jay-Z is a Moabite? What if Kanye is an Israelite? Can you see why it wouldn't be tribal? Can you see why black people can't unite? Because you can't unite under a farce. You can't unite under black. You can't unite under a skin tone. You must unite under your power. But Moabites got a different power than the Hebrews, than Israel. You got the God, the creator of Israel. Then you got the Moabite gods that are not the creator of all. Not the Most High over everything. They got their powers they're tapping into. Same thing with Atlantis. There is no such thing as black unity, and this is what it's a hard, situation to swallow, as we wake up, become aware. But there was never black unity, ever. Not in Egypt, not in Atlantis. So you're asking us to do something that's never been done before, unprecedented, never been done. Only the creator can make that miracle happen. But that's because, some of them are going to need to experience the wrath of the creator before they even give it up as their supreme power. They're going to tap into the gods of their ancestors, their idols. They're no gods. They're false entities, fallen energies, before they tap in to the real. They feel like our creator don't like them. They feel like our creator was never tribed up with them. They know the truth, that the creator is tribal, that all skin folk ain't kinfolk, and all kinfolk ain't confolk.
Whole dream of Dr. King gone. Take it up now to Sugar Hill Records. All the greatest hip hop acts are on the label, but they're not getting treated right. Black people are ripping off black people. I say this respectfully because I'm talking about our parents. These are older blacks ripping off the talent of younger blacks. Respectfully. KRS, Scott LaRock, Boogie Down Productions, B-Boy Records. Black men are taking advantage of young black talent.
KRS popping off, look like he got his hand wrapped, like he been punching through the walls and window. He's going in. It's up.
B-Boy Records was owned by black people, older black men from the 50s and 60s. You would think, after everything we went through in civil rights, you see a young man coming up, he calls himself Knowledge Reigns Supreme. And he's trying to come up, he's homeless, he's in the street, but he's talking that blackness. And you see he got a crowd around him. And you see he got some little time. You're not going to dust him off and say, yo, young blood, come on, let me show you something. Let me protect you. No, they were the first ones to come in. Rip off me and Scott LaRock for the Criminal Minded album. To this very day, black folks still ripping me off for the Criminal Minded album. To this very day.
So I was one of Jay's best earner. Anytime he needed that beat, boom. You know what I'm saying? So
black people are taking it, they're eating their children. They're eating their children. This is the worst thing to happen to not only hip hop.
Devour. The dragon devours itself, man. The dragon eats itself, eats its own tail, right?
But to black civilization in the United States.
Okay.
Now those that are supposed to be representing a people have dropped the ball. Matter of fact, they didn't even drop it. They threw that shit in the garbage. Willfully. They didn't want no responsibility. This is the worst thing to happen to hip hop.
Because they're not representing a people. Because there's no such thing as black people. Just like there's no such thing as anti-Semite or Semites. These people represent their tribe, their interests. They don't call themselves black, man.
In modern times. This is the bottom of the barrel. This is it right here. That you would be propped up by your people.
Okay.
Make millions of dollars on your people.
Mm.
And when you get that money, you buy yourself a Maybach. You give your money to Germans.
Oh, we gonna talk Germans, man. This train's never late.
And I love Berlin. Yeah, I want to go there now. But in the scheme of our conversation, how you giving your money to Germans? They rich. Germans are the richest European. In fact, right, they're the richest Europeans. Okay? Why would you, ignorant Negro, give your money to a rich person? At least give your money to Spain. At least give your money to Greece. At least give your money to poor countries. This is how magnificent hip-hop was. It produced KRS-One. Hip-hop will never fall on my watch. Never.
KRS-One is right. The older generation gotta pass it on to the young generation. You need to.
KRS is saying it's a more and more war, man. Hey, out to Prophet Muscle, man. Let's get in this clip, man. Again, one that we talked about last time.
Let's go, baby.
Oh no, they got it back.
Janet!
How you doing, Kanye?
How you feeling after this week?
Hell, they're
How you feeling, brother?
I feel good.
You look great. You look great, my girl.
Thank you, Kanye.
Do you want to talk about anything, Kanye?
I mean, do you think you're being unfairly targeted for the comments you've been making?
Yeah, I told you, I know you heard me talking last time. The person that's going to be asking the most jam-up questions is a black man, right? Just like KRS-One was just talking about. It's our people. The most jam-up question asking motherfucker is going to be a nigga, which is just very telling.
You like these unfair?
Yes, absolutely.
You know, anti-Semitic statements are never good for anybody, right? It's kind of like being anti-black.
Well, you know, it's really interesting. I didn't realize that I could be considered anti-Semitic till I read one of the definitions of anti-Semitism. Look at this. The definition says, making mendacious, dehumanizing, demonizing, or stereotypical allegations about Jews as such, or the power of Jews as a collective, such as, especially, but not exclusively. This sounds like a, I'll let them go by. What was that? All right, so it says, think about it, that sounds like the type wording that's in the contracts, right?
Indeed.
Okay, it says, such as, especially, but not exclusively, the myth about a world Jewish conspiracy or of Jews controlling the media, economy, government, or other societal institutions.
But isn't that what you said? That Jews run everything?
Yeah, but that actually is considered to be anti-Semitic.
Right.
So I didn't realize that it was anti-Semitic to say, hey, I have a Jewish attorney, I have a Jewish record label, I have a Jewish contractor, I have a
Do you regret your statements?
Or the statements you think you should be walking back? I mean, considering...
What do you mean walking back?
You said they just cut him off. Like, he's popping off. Well, do you regret that? Do you want to walk back that statement? Well, didn't you say that? Shut your ass up and listen. This is listening time. You just want to pop questions off so that you can say that was my question, or that you can get some, emotional response. And it's just sad that the person mainly doing this is a nigga. Let's go.
Well, backing up off of them. I mean, the thing is, you've lost a lot of endorsements. People are dropping you. You're getting, vilified. I mean, you might think you're right, but I think, there's a whole world out there that's condemning you for what you said.
Okay, so this right here is a chart of Universal Studios, 20th Century Fox, ABC News, CBS News, Columbia Pictures, Warner Brothers, ESPN Sports, Fox News, Washington Post, Metro Goldwyn Mayer, MTV Music Television, Nickelodeon, USA Today, Wall Street Journal, Comedy Central, NBC Entertainment, Google, what else do we have? Disney, ABC Kids and Family, YouTube, Los Angeles Times, Discovery Network, Paramount Pictures, Facebook, Huffington Post.
I heard YouTube on the list. Who's messing with their audio?
Yahoo, Marvel, Hulu, Cosmopolitan, Time, Touchstone, Associated Press, Pixar, Miramax, HBO, New York Post, LucasArts, MSNBC, DreamWorks Animation. Now the thing is, I skipped over maybe about 5 of them because it was just unclear on this list.
With the available GMC Multi-Pro Midgate, it is the Denali of EVs from GMC.
All those companies were run by blacks. You could say
Before you
that.
do any holiday shopping this year, you really have
The industry.
I'm going to show you one simple trick
Jay.
that'll save you a lot of money when you're shopping.
I mean, that's not a...
The red are
Hey,
the executives that are Jewish.
Get back without the interruption.
Skipped over maybe about 5 of them because it was just unclear on this list. The red are the executives that are Jewish at these companies.
Wow. Okay. Biggest, baddest companies in America, in the world. How did it come to this? That's something that we can ask without you saying, why are you looking at our pockets? Why are you pocket watching? Why are you trying to accuse us that we're in some type of cabal? If this was all owned by niggas, then we would say we run this shit. And the ones that aren't owned by us would definitely be influenced by us, or else the rest of us can unify against you. It's like the game of Risk or any type of war games. It's about allies, alliances, man. We're saying it's not crazy to say that a few of y'all are making alliances, and that when one person's out of line, all of you follow suit. Adidas drops Kanye, Nike drops Kyrie. Come on, man. It's not coincidence. Don't act like we stupid. Again, we don't need a seat at your table. We ain't got to prove our intelligence to you, but you're not going to treat us like we're just some dumbasses. You know what I'm saying? We know we got to make contracts with you. You could be a low-level actor, and you got to sign to a agency, a talent agency, and it's very possible that agency is going to be run by one of these Reds. Red media, you know what I'm saying? It's going to be run by one of these people in the red. And that's not anti-nothing. That's pure facts. When is speaking pure facts or saying, hey, man, you got a lot of power, offensive? How are we offending you by saying, damn, hey, good job. You've done well. They'll say, well, just say that we're successful. We like that better than saying we control anything. What's the difference, fool? If you have this much success, how do you have no control? Who's controlling you if you have all the success? Make it make sense. I said, make it make sense. Am I if I got to take another screenshot, more close up. I'm going to get more close up of this great factual illustration of the power disbursement in entertainment. Because Yeezy said it.
Do you think they stuck together when they heard what you said? Is that what happened?
Well, what I said.
You think they stuck together? Is the sky blue?
It is. Hey, I've had experiences where it felt like I was being teamed up on, and I didn't realize that term would be considered to be anti-Semitic. So I had a mediation with Adidas today, and I think Adidas felt like because everyone else was ganging up on me that they had the right to just take my designs. And I feel like right now, I feel like that was in Christianity. We don't say karma. We say you reap what you sow. And I feel like this was God humbling me right now, because there's two things that are happening. A lot of times when I would say, oh, I'm the richest black man, it would be a defense that I would use for the mental health conversation. To say, oh, you guys say I'm crazy, but look at this, I made money. But that is not godlike to be showing off. So if it's not godlike, then God will take that, because it's all the church's money, right? So what's happening right now is I'm being humbled. Another thing that's happening is by me being burned to the flesh every single day, it's actually proving what I had to say. So when I went to the mediation, what I want to say is, like, black people are like, okay, Lex Friedman got you to apologize, Pierce Morgan got you to apologize to the Jews, but you never apologized to us about the George Floyd comment that made us feel bad. Now the thing is, okay, JFK, they got a lot of documentaries about how it happened. So we can argue about how it happened, which I like the fact that we can do that. But regardless, when I see that video as a black person, it hurts my feelings. And I know that police do attack, and America is generally racist. And I understand that when we got to say Black Lives Matter, that the idea of it made us feel good together as a person, as a people, right? When let me say it so the soundbite is better for you guys. When the idea of Black Lives Matter came out, it made us come together as a people. Now afterwards, yes, there was some things where the money went. There were some things where it was used in order to push us to the Democratic vote. There were people behind it involved. That happened, but the general feeling. So when I said that, and I questioned the death of George Floyd, it hurt my people. It hurt the Black people. So I want to apologize to hurting them, because right now God has shown me by what Adidas is doing and by what the media is doing, I know how it feels to have a knee on my neck now. So I thank you, God, for humbling me and letting me know how it really felt. Because how could the richest Black man ever be humbled other than to be made to not be a billionaire in front of everyone off of one comment that actually, if you look at the definition of DEFCON, it means to get extra defense, which obviously I must have needed.
Yeah.
Is Yeezy crazy? He's having clear thoughts, expressing them clearly, with clear eyes. He's checking his traps. He's checking behind him. He's aware of his energy. He's aware of everything he's saying. His thoughts are clear. You don't have to agree with him or his opinion for him to be crazy. He can't be crazy because you don't think he's speaking facts. You can't call somebody crazy because they're hurting your feelings. You're just crazy. You know what I'm saying? It's like people being in a relationship, somebody cheating on somebody, and it's like, what? Me, a cheater? Even though they know they cheat. But because they're even questioning the fact that you could be cheating, you know what I'm saying? You got to be crazy. They got to be crazy for questioning you when you know you cheat. So your defense mechanism is, man, you crazy, man. Take your meds. He's like, fool, I know you're cheating. I got the GPS. I know where you've been. He's clearly laying out his psychology behind what he did. And he's going to go even further into the White Lives Matter shirt and the red hat and his psychology behind it. And if someone has you can't judge someone's psychological, thoughts or path or journey to get to a point or to make a point. You know what I'm saying? Because someone might be more, intricate at this, or, maybe they're just, more, just out of convention, unconventional, you know what I'm saying, and how to get there. He has to do it a lot of times in code and a lot of times, you know what I'm saying, through these certain type of tactics in order to get people paying attention. And when you do, he's dropping the flames, you know what I'm saying? He goes dragging. Is this dragon crazy?
I must have needed that extra defense.
Are you worried you ruined your legacy, Kanye?
How? Well, stop. I'm not worried. I'm just not worried, period. God is alive. God runs the world. God even runs Hollywood. God is alive. And he's using me right now. He chose me for such a time like this to basically for the media to put their knee on my neck, for Adidas to put their knee on my neck. All I ever wanted at Adidas, I left Nike because Nike wouldn't give me a percentage for my shoes when I had the Red October, and my girlfriend at the time was pregnant, and I needed to get some money because I was the kid that just had the red shoes. I could have never been a black man wearing a red hat.
Mac and cheese lovers rejoice. Dive into the melty, gooey goodness of Bob Evans mac and cheese. Tender macaroni smothered in real cheese. Ready in just minutes with the delicious taste Bob Evans is known for. Bring home the warm, gooey goodness of mac and cheese today.
Yeezy.
You know when switching to video chat makes it easier? Vonage does that.
Right after this hype.
When Nike would have shut me down immediately, right? But because Adidas was a German company, it gave me a little bit more room to be able to express myself.
He's giving you the psychologies. He said, man, I chose Adidas because I had more wiggle room to pop off. And here we go bringing up Germany again. That's crazy. KRS brought up Germany. Kanye brought up Germany because Adidas is owned by Germans. Then we're going to be talking about Germany, Hitler and all that for the dismount. Let's go.
And to actually have a political opinion as an American, that I wasn't forced into a political opinion because of the color of my skin. Now let's talk about the red hat, and let's talk about the similarities to the White Lives Matter t-shirt. The thing about the red hat that drove me to a point of exhaustion, which was misdiagnosed by I'm not gonna say what race, what people, doctor, and what hospital, and what media it went to. We know I can't say that. It was a Jewish doctor.
Oh, Yeezy.
That diagnosed me of having a disorder that would have had me on medication right now. At a time like this, if I was on medication right now, then one pill could have been swapped out and it would be Michael Jackson and Prince all over again. But because I didn't take the
Is Yeezy crazy? Or did something very foul, very evil, very sinister, very wicked happen to Prince and Michael, and did it have anything to do with medication?
misdiagnosis, and I didn't take the medication, I'm able to speak to you guys clear of thought and transparently. We know I can't say that. It was a Jewish doctor that diagnosed me of having a disorder that would have had me on medication right now. At a time like this, if I was on medication right now, then one pill could have been swapped out and it would be Michael Jackson and Prince all over again. But because I didn't take the misdiagnosis and I didn't take the medication, I'm able to speak to you guys clear of thought and transparently. Now let me talk about the red hat. Wearing the MAGA hat, the way that Hollywood's political agenda attacked me and put me to a point of exhaustion was death by 1,000 cuts. Everyone would say something to me, from a driver to my ex-wife to Adidas. Everyone would say something. So when I wore that White Lives Matter, I said, I'm not going through this again. I'm not going. Hey, y'all gonna leave me alone about my t-shirt. Because what's the point of having influence and having money if people could come up and just pinch you?
But don't you think having influence, you have a responsibility?
And that's the responsibility that I'm taking right here.
Don't you think
that's why you asked that question.
But don't you think it's dangerous rhetoric to be anti-Semitic, to say all lives matter or white lives matter? No, I'm asking.
I'm saying white lives matter, anti-Semitic. That's what you just asked.
I'm not saying that's anti-Semitic.
No, you just said that though.
No, and I misspoke. But I'm saying
no, you didn't. That was a fraud.
But I misspoke. And he's like, nah, that's a Freudian slip. A crazy person ain't gonna be catching all this, y'all. Y'all gonna stop with this it's crazy talk. Call him something else. You wanna call him this, control that, this, that, but if we getting the dropout, and if we applying it, if we're using this as a tool for research, it can't be a distraction if it's just gonna bring us into talking about the 12 tribes of Israel, my nigga. It can't be a distraction if we're talking about sacrifices in the industry that is all factual and who's controlling this entire circus, man. Who's controlling this entire theatrical production that is taking real lives.
Saying white lives matter anti-Semitic. That's what you just asked.
I'm not saying that's anti-Semitic.
No, you just said that though.
No, and I misspoke. But I'm saying
no, you didn't. That was a Freudian slip.
I'm trying to correct myself.
Okay, correct yourself.
To walk around with
do you want to walk back that statement?
Sure,
you got the chance. Walk back that statement.
Do you think maybe that?
No, wait a second. He's gonna walk back.
But I'm saying you're wearing the White Lives Matter shirt.
What I tell you, man, who's behind it? Who's behind it? Who got the battery in this brother's back? Look at his eyes. He's there to crucify you. Anti-Semitism. Don't you think? Don't you think? They like to say, don't you think? When what they really want to say is, I think this, I think that. Instead they say, well, don't you think it? Don't you agree with me?
And Black Lives Matter, and a lot of people think that you're being anti-black by saying
no, Kyle.
What? Let him talk, bro. In America, black people don't take all the rights that we have that are actually given to us. Because we weren't given what we were promised in the first place, which was the 40 acres. Instead, we were given...
And a mule.
And a mule. Instead, we were given projects and bad food and posters of Oprah Winfrey. And also Planned Parenthood. People said to me multiple times, visit the Holocaust Museum. I said, visit our Holocaust Museum. It's called Planned Parenthood. 6 million Jews died in the Holocaust, and I am sorry for your losses. 20 million blacks died to abortion, and Planned Parenthood was made by Margaret Sanger with the real KKK.
Yeah, they're gonna put some advertisements right here. Break your fame. Nah, man. Let's get it back with without the
died to abortion, and Planned Parenthood was made by Margaret Sanger with the real KKK as population control. Margaret Sanger is a eugenics and is working today. The number one cause of death for black people in America is abortion. The most dangerous place for a black man today, or black baby, black woman, is in their mother's stomach. And that is a programming that's pushed through, I got a new word for 2024, the red media. That is the red media. If you go to Apple right now, go to Apple Music. Let's load up the top 10 songs. I guarantee you they're promoting black serial killing.
Absolutely.
Not just one. They're promoting black. The red media is making money off of blacks being serial killers to each other. Also misogynistic. The red media is making money off of that. And God
is Yeezy crazy.
Sees it. But I understand, and I'm not judging, because the oppressed becomes the oppressor. And it is our time now. Blacks are coming into money. We are not scared anymore. And I showed you that I crossed that line. They tried to bankrupt me. They tried to say I was crazy, and I'm alive. We haven't had a full black community since the gentrification of Harlem and Black Wall Street, which was torn down. But I know my brothers, my engineers, my architects, my farmers are gonna rise up.
Nagarville gonna rise up.
And if it meant they had to take me and drag me like Emmett Till in front of everyone because I whistled, I know my brothers, my engineers, and I have no reason to lie. My family was taken away from me, my reputation.
And again, I hate when they do them cuts, because like, what was he about to say? Like, I wanted to know where he was going with that building flow.
Because I whistled. I know my brothers, my engineers, and I have no reason to lie. My family was taken away from me. My reputation has been smeared. I get it. So let's close with a prayer. Father God, thank you. Thank you for keeping me alive. Thank you for the voice. Thank you for the clarity. Thank you for the experience. And thank you for the love.
Wow.
Because even though the real hate is what's happening on the media,
I love how Kanye transitions from prayer to speech, man. Right in your face, bro.
And the idea of DEF CON was to get protected for a time like this. Let's lead with love. I have no association to any hate group. If any hate happens upon any Jewish person, it is not associated, because I am demanding that everyone walk in love. Even though there's been things that have happened wrong to me that made me want to speak up, that you guys saw in the past 2 weeks. You saw the power. You saw Ari Emanuel come out in public and ask, if that happened in public, what do you think happened in private?
Bang.
And what do you think happened in private to so many people for so many years? But what I'm telling everyone, no matter what background you are, no matter what socioeconomic class you are, walk with love right now. Walk, do what God would want. What would Jesus do? Walk with love.
Whoa. See, it's a different type of Ahab. See, the real Ahab ain't got nothing to do with being fake to your enemy. You know, David said, make my enemy my footstool, man. And that's the type of Ahab we need to have for each other when we talk about revolution and being anti-American. Don't be anti-revolution. Don't be anti-American. You got to be American. You got to be with the revolution. And with the revolution, you make your enemies your footstool. However, we're talking about frequency, energy, vibration, real time in it. You know what I'm saying? Spiritually, whatever you're doing. But your enemy got to be your footstool. This JC talk only helps for the oppressors. The slave master says, please forgive me. What would Jesus do? Yeah, forgive your slave master. It's all about forgiveness. Black Panther movie. Forgive. That helps your oppressor a lot. That's the mentality of your oppressor. Please forgive me for all the trauma I've caused you. Oh, you know what? My forgiveness might be not slaying you, but it's definitely not going to be walking shoulder to shoulder with you. It's definitely not going to be forgetting who you are. You ain't going to catch me slipping again. King David had a hit list before he went on. He passed a hit list to King Solomon. He said, remember these guys? I know you know what to do. Yeah, man. We take care of our family. We keep the code. We honor our framer and shaper. You know what I'm saying? We honor each other. But when it comes to those that are only about our destruction and they have not repented, what do you mean? Forgive who? Walk with love with who? You got to earn that Ahab. You don't just get Ahab. You know, this is Torah. This is Tanakh. This ain't no new testy that the slave master wants you to forgive there. They have to show true Ahab, and you can't show that without the code.
Love, spread happiness. I thought that I wasn't gonna be like MLK and stand there. There's times I felt very Malcolm X, but for some reason God has called me to love and to ask for love for everyone. It's time for us just to love, because love is the answer. It is the only way. Gandhi said, someone who was actually considered to be,
here we go with the Gandhi talk,
a racist, right? Gandhi said, an eye for an eye leaves the whole world blind. Jesus.
See what I'm saying? See what I'm saying? We love you, Ye, but you gotta drop the idols, man, because then you can connect pure water to the Creator. You're going from being a Hebrew to JC. You're going from being a Hebrew to Christianity, man. This is what's throwing off your frequency, and we want your security. We want you to have that secure breath in code, and that's just the realest thing we can say. Gandhi said, eye for eye leaves the whole world blind. We're talking Torah, man. Eye for an eye. Someone strikes, you know what I'm saying, your loved one, you know what I'm saying, they get struck down, or else they don't have no accountability. But you don't want them to have no accountability. You just want them to be forgiven without even asking for forgiveness. Eye for an eye leave the whole world blind. Which world? Our world? The world has been decimated? That ain't no revolution. You may not be anti-Semitic, man, but you're sounding kind of anti-American with this one, man. Ahab to the cons, man. So I'm glad we got the audio going with those drops, man. I got a couple more for the dismount that, we dropped on IG that I tried to get last time as well. Ahab to all the IG family, man. Y'all just on fire, connecting so much. And a lot of this is very polarizing, you know what I'm saying? A lot of this, leaves people upset. We put out a post like this, simple stuff that we've been talking about. You got, so-called natives today saying, what do you mean? We're not the real Inca? We're not the real Aztec? And you got the white people saying, we're not the real European. Charles looks like this. Why do y'all gotta be everything? Look at my bro Zion say, let go. Bring out that Nebuchadnezzar, Charles V connection. He over there surfing the wave. The wave, man. They ain't ready for that. Shout out to my Aqua RMB. Yeah, man. You connect the indigenous with the tribes of Israel, you start to see what they really invaded when they came here. My Aqua is popping off. Y'all gonna let this keep happening?
Before and y'all still ain't doing nothing about it. Like, are we gonna stand together this time? And for my protection, TikTok, this video is fake. Now let's get into it. This whole time y'all been seeing Kanye speak out about a lot of things. And every time he would speak out in the increments of his MK Ultra, neuropsychiatric hospitals he goes. Every time somebody digs a little deeper within things, they get canceled, fired, their money goes away until they apologize. Let's take it back 50 years and get 2 more examples. Did y'all know Malcolm X was called anti-Semitic too? Pushed in the media by newspaper articles, Malcolm was speaking out, and when he started to dig too, the injustices, the conditions that Afro people has been going through in this country, and also digging in on his own people. Because like I said, all skin folk ain't kinfolk. And he stated that his own people tried to take his life multiple times. He was finding out about his leaders' connections with the government and why he can't speak on certain things. Now Kanye said the same thing. They make us bully ourselves because of our business alignments. Nobody on his team, nobody in the NBA want to support him. They all want to talk down on him. I wonder why. Now let's take it farther. Y'all remember the Black Panther Party? Because it seemed like ain't nobody trying to step like them. Trying to upgrade the black community, giving out free health clinics, free food for the kids, education, knowledge about rights for non-ether beings. They even had their own newspaper because they knew what the media was trying to do, portray them as evil people. But you know what's crazy though? They still was dismantled, killed, put in jail, all according to the law and according to the rights of America. One of the Black Panther leaders was assassinated by the US government. They drugged him, walked up in his house and just shot everything. And everybody in there walked out with smiles on their face. FBI program destroys the Panthers, putting false accusations against them and all types of things. Now y'all seeing the same thing that y'all saw 50 years ago, and y'all still trying to be involved with all of this, supporting all of these brands, NFL, NBA, Nike, Adidas, News, CNN, history, education, politics. They gave us a month and a television station that they own. I'm over it, y'all. I'm done. It's getting on my nerves. Do something. Boycott, come together or something. Y'all stay dangerous.
Aqua said tribe up. Aqua said tribe up. Yeah, it's either that or they just getting on their knees asking for forgiveness.
We know he's being God and he no longer can be here. In honor of his legacy, we're not rioting, God. We're not shaming anybody, God. We're just humbling ourselves before you. Yes, Lord. You brought the thunder and rain today, God, because Satan takes the L today. Father, in Jesus' name, you get the victory. Father, we ask for forgiveness from our black brothers and sisters for years and years of racism, of systematic racism. We know he's being God and he no longer can be here. In honor of his legacy, we're not rioting, God. We're not shaming anybody, God. We're just humbling ourselves before you. Yes, Lord. You brought the thunder and rain today, God, because Satan takes the L today. Father, in Jesus' name, you get the victory. Father, we ask for forgiveness from our black brothers and sisters for years and years of racism, of systematic racism.
Well, Satan is Jesus, because Jesus is Zeus, and Zeus is the adversary, which is the etymology of Satan. But look, You think we want your apologies, man? We need y'all to run that land back. We need y'all to run our things and our stuff back. Y'all came with this whole crowd of people. Y'all came with this whole crowd, and ain't no one brought no restitution or recompense. Empty hands for these niggas. Oh, why it's gotta be about things dropped? Because you stole our things. At this point, just run that stolen land back to the night. Because all this does is just piss people off. It's gonna piss your people off. It's gonna piss our people off. It's pissing off my Aqua, Don Robertson. You know what I'm saying? She's popping off. I agree. This is a beautiful first step. We are grateful. But reparations. And now, yeah, whether it's reparations, whether it's restitution, run it back, man. You want some apologizing? Now that's that JC talk. That's why they praying to JC. They want forgiveness. Only the Creator can give you that. We can only forgive our brothers. You know what I'm saying? Straight up. This is how they talk. This is how they talk, but they mad at Kyrie. This is how they talk, but they mad at Kyrie. Hold up, man. Oh, there we go.
Go with me! What the hell are you doing, Carmen? I went home to alter the picture of me with Butter's penis in my mouth to look like Kyle, but it was gone! What did you do with my picture? Knock it off! I don't have your stupid picture. Give it back, Kyle. I don't have it. I swear to God, Kyle, if you don't give it back right now, I'm gonna break your f***ing Jew legs right here. Shut up. You shut up! You're lying, and you two are covering up for it. You know what? You're just like Jews yourselves. Stan, you're a Jew, and Kitty, you're a Jew. You're all Jews. Ow! Ow!
I can't even watch no more. This is their people talking about themselves. But Kyrie can't leave a link without losing it all or being threatened. Mo said, you already know, man. I know. It's the red media. The red media strikes again. Hey, caption this, man. What do y'all caption this? Is this called revolution? Is this called Operation Freedom? You wonder why these niggas want our things back? Our stuff back? Stuff being transported on boats all across the waters. Shout out to my Aqua Professor KG. Said my uncle was in Baghdad when the war was on. He said they went into one of the mansions and were told to basically steal everything. Just like they did to the Indians, right? He had his picture sitting in Saddam's red golden throne. That's all he took. Unlike his other comrades, he said he had never seen so much gold in his life, and it was too heavy to carry a lot of it because of the weight. So what did he take, the throne? Wow. Father of the Pack said we get it back from unity. That's right. KTC, you know how we do. But yeah, this is what the wars are always about. The gold. It's never changed. California gold rush. California gold. I know it's feeling heavy, my nigga. I know. But just know, my nigga. I know your shoulders. I know you got a lot on your shoulders right now. But you are large enough to carry the elephants in the room. We know there's a lot of elephants in the room right now. This is actually wall painting in the Nubian pyramids of a giant carrying two elephants. Yeah, man. The shoulders of giants, man. My niggas, we stronger than you think. We stronger than they think. We can carry the elephants in the room. Allow. Wow, man. Hey, it's all happening. Thank ThaWaDa for surfing the wave with us. All IG, man. And, you know, for the final dismount, I'm going to do a follow-up to this Rabbi Harry flow that we started with. Yeah. All right. Yeah, they on that play. Yeah. Come on, man.
Perhaps hundreds of millions of people with this identity right now of being from the people of Israel. Does that mean they were from the 10 tribes? Likely not. We were taught by the historians and within our own traditions that when the Romans conquered Judea a few hundred years after that the tribes of Israel went into exile, perhaps millions of Judeans were sold into slavery, into Africa, into Rome, deep into Africa. And if you look now, you're seeing people who are most likely the descendants of those slaves who kept true. I like to bring up a few specific examples because they're going to be game changers. One of them wrote letters to Israel when it became a state. And they said, we're Israelites out in Africa. You know, everyone laughed at them and they said, African Israelites, these people are just trying to jump on the first world country bandwagon. They're living in a third world country. They got nothing. We're coming to Israel. We got to invade.
The first world country bandwagon. So he's saying he's the first world. You see, man, this is just whoo. Hijack 101.
Technology. So they're trying to get on this train because there's such a thing called the right of return. All descendants of the Jewish people from around the world are able to move to Israel. So they said we are also. And everyone kind of laughed at them, like I said. And a few people took it serious and went out there and started studying them, learned about their culture. And a professor from Duke University went out there and did DNA testing on them. And he showed not only do they share Semitic genes from people who were in Yemen and back to the Middle East, these gentlemen, a large percent of them, have the Y chromosome to be Kohanim, to be priests. Now, if anyone who doesn't know, a priest is a specific family clan of the nation of Israel who come from Aaron, the brother of Moses, who was the first priest. And anyone descended from Aaron has the status title priest. And we found that these men in this village in South Africa called Lemba, L-E-M-B-A, carry this genetic marker to let us know that they share the same as from the Sephardic and the Ashkenaz and the population of the people in Israel today. They share the same exact
Can't be the Ashkenaz. Can't be the Ashkenaz if they're converts, and it can't be the Ashkenaz if they're the seeds of Japheth and Gomer. Who cares about your DNA if you're not Shem?
Mind-blowing. So everyone kind of got humbled a little bit who laughed at them and said, now what? Now what do we do about this? This could have tremendous implications. Another area in Africa you have something big happening is in Nigeria. You have the Igbo people, or Igbo, pronounced either way. There's 40 million of them, also Christians, like I spoke about before, how that could happen to the children of Israel very easily. But also a lot of them are now coming out and converting back or adopting the rules of the Torah without all the paganism that they've been practicing.
This is where Kanye's at. He has to drop this Christianity, idolatry, paganism, and come home to the code.
For hundreds of years. There's been books written about it from scholars in Nigeria, from scholars from the Jewish people. And where it gets interesting is, in America, there was a slave trade. And a lot of the slaves, a very high percentage of them, came from Western Nigerian ports. And in America today, you see a very large movement of African Americans who say that they're the real chosen people, that they're the children of Israel, they're the Judeans. You know, so what are they just trying to create an identity for themselves because they were slaves, or is there really something here? And the answer is most likely there is something there. And most likely maybe that they were the original Israelites, and maybe that the Jewish people today who are white Caucasian people came in a little bit later on. We know that some of the greatest sages of the transmission of the Torah were converts from Rome.
Drop the mic.
You have a man named Onkelos who wrote a commentary on the Torah, unprecedented, that we still learn today. He was a convert. Some of the largest pillars on the transmission today were Roman converts. So here we are, we're Caucasian Jewish people, And now you have people in Africa saying that they're the real people of Israel. It can't be ruled out at all. We know they were sold into slavery. We know now that they're fulfilling prophecies by saying, we're coming back. We want.
All right, so I want to get kind of a part two on that last little clip.
Thermal distribution of the electron.
Let's get it from right here.
Jews picking up pennies, it's like, wait a minute, can you say that? So I think it goes both ways. You know, I can't start saying N-words and other people can't start making Jewish penny jokes. Everyone can make, criticize their own selves or their own communities. But I think that's silly also. We shouldn't have an ego. My feelings shouldn't have to be hurt if you have something to say about us. But it's all fun and games until it becomes, physical violence towards Jews. Then it's like we're just so much trauma. We're not having any of it. So I think the ADL is probably protecting a beast that the Jewish people communicate and miscommunicate as themselves. Like the Jewish people are like, oh, the ADL is here for me. ADL is not here for you, Jewish people. They're protecting something much bigger. They just, the name Jew is just covering both realities, the thing they're protecting and you simple folk who are just trying to make a living and stay humble.
I think it's a good segue to go into what Kanye was saying about hip hop and Jewish executives. In one particular comment, he talked about how, in black hip hop music, we could talk about kill this, nigga that, and it's pretty much there's no outrage, black on black. But as soon as somebody says something about the Jewish people, it seems like it's all hell breaks loose. But a lot of these execs we already established in hip hop are Jewish. How come they promote, fund, the destruction of black people through the music? But as soon as somebody says something about Jewish people, it's all hell breaks loose. But when it's black people, it's like they fund that and they don't care.
Yeah, I think that's a great point, but it's such a complex thing because no one should have the right to, the fact that they're promoting violence and drugs and then making that an avenue of like financial success. So now I'm a young African-American kid and I want to get some money when I'm older. I got to start like training myself. If I want money, I got to rap about killing and drugs and be hardcore. So that's something that's being set by the Jewish people.
Whoa, so he's gonna say, but don't you niggas do it to yourself anyway? Remember the forked tongue. He admits it, but then wants to put it back on us. You just admitted the same thing Yeezy just said. The red media controls this stuff, and they're profiting off of our death. If you just take that point without spinning it back on the Hebrews, which you just admitted we are, then you have to take full accountability and responsibility as a tribe and say, we've been oppressing Hebrew Israelites. We've been oppressing the tribe of Israel. We've been oppressing the seeds of H.O.E, the creator. We've been oppressing and violating and causing genocide, because if you're promoting us being serial killers and your words making an avenue for that to be successful, that blood is on your hands to this day. And these sacrifices in the industry is on your hands to this day, because all they want to do is be popular. All they want to do is be successful, because you created an avenue for it and you just admitted it, and you admitted who's doing it. Yeezy said it.
They fund that and they don't care.
Yeah, I think that's a great point, but it's such a complex thing because no one should have the right to, the fact that they're promoting violence and drugs and then making that an avenue of like financial success. So now I'm a young African-American kid and I want to get some money when I'm older. I got to start like training myself. If I want money, I got to rap about killing and drugs and be hardcore.
If you're a Hebrew who's now the tail and not the head, then yeah, now there's an avenue for a Hebrew to sign to a Jewish convert and rap about death of more Hebrews that leads to the death of more Hebrews, because it's influencing our youth.
So that's something that's being set by the Jewish people. But let me ask you a few questions just on this.
Here we go. Here we go.
Let's say, like, and I'm not a professional, like, let's look at like Def Jam Records or like, some of these guys. Is there African American owned media that's still promoting, violence and drugs?
And I like my noggins right here. Shout out to V or Viral Hip Hop News. As soon as he said that, they was already on it. I'm gonna back it up. Just watch them. Like, he was like, yo, research Def Jam right now because we need a rebuttal, man. Let's go.
Records or like, some of these guys. Is there African American owned media that's still promoting, violence and drugs and gangster living outside of Jewish ownership? Is that exclusive only to Jews owning these companies, or there's also African American owned?
What company does African Americans own?
I don't know. That's why I'm saying this question out of ignorance.
Wow. Great question. What companies do these Hebrew black people own? That we will be doing this to ourselves since you spun it back on us, instead of just going on and on about your people that you just admitted are behind this thing. You just admitted it's being set in place by what you just said, Jewish people.
Being set by the Jewish people.
Bang, that's it. So this is what we got to stay right here. X marks the spot. Why are Jewish people able to control, manipulate, propagate, profit? I mean, completely, these people are literally stripping us of our soul to get money because we see an avenue for money. He just said we create the avenue, and it's being put in place by Jewish people.
It's like they fund that and they don't care.
Yeah, I think that's a great point, but it's such a complex thing because no one should have the right to, the fact that they're promoting violence and drugs and then making that an avenue of like financial success. So now I'm a young African American kid and I want to get some money when I'm older. I got to start like training myself. If I want money, I got to rap about killing and drugs and be hardcore. So that's something that's being set by the Jewish people.
You're exploiting Hebrews, true original Hebrews. You're exploiting us of our soul to make a living, creating the avenues of success. And if we don't agree, or if we even question your origin, or we question your motives, your intentions, then you threaten to take it all away. Kyrie got a whole laundry list he has to do to get back on the court, something he's been doing all his life. But to be successful at it, he has to appease you. He has to bow down and be broken by you. That's too much power. You just admitted who is creating the avenues.
Promoting violence and drugs and then making that an avenue of like financial success. So now I'm a young African American kid and I want to get some money when I'm older. I got to start like training myself. If I want money, I got to rap about killing and drugs and be hardcore. So that's something that's being set by the Jewish people.
Which means that we have to get down with you. We got to get down with your tribe. If we upset the quote unquote Jewish people, like you said, everything's in jeopardy. Everything is taken away because it's being set by
and making that an avenue of like financial success. So now I'm a young African American kid and I want to get some money when I'm older. I got to start like training myself. If I want money, I got to rap about killing and drugs and be hardcore. So that's something that's being set by the Jewish people. But let me ask you a few questions just on this. Let's say like, and I'm not a professional, like let's look at like Def Jam Records or like, some of these guys. Is there African American owned media that's still promoting, violence and drugs and gangster living outside of Jewish ownership? Is that exclusive only to Jews owning these companies, or there's also African American owned?
What company does African Americans own?
I don't know. That's why I'm saying this question out of ignorance. I was asking you.
It's usually a part. It's usually like a sometimes it's a partnership deal, but most of the time it's Jewish owned. They'll have like Def
like
Jam, Rockefeller.
Records and all this is this Jewish guy at the top of it.
Say it again. I didn't hear that part. The first
Like
part.
Def Jam Records or NWO or whatever it is. These are Jewish-owned things at the top of it.
Yes.
Like Def Jam, for example. Sorry to cut you off. Current CEO of Def Jam, his name is Paul Rosenberg. He's been there since January 1st, 2018. The founders were Rick Rubin and Russell Simmons. So
all they can do is laugh and smile. That's not a joking matter, man. These people are dying. Sacrifices are being made. Rest in power. Take off.
Right. So I get what you're saying. Yeah, we do, participate in it as well. I get where you're trying to go with that as well.
Yeah, you're trying to spin it back on us when you just said you set the table.
But it's still the underlying issue of the majority of these companies being ran by Jewish people that promote and fund this message. Can we agree with that?
Yeah, it seems very shady. It seems that there should be, these are, I don't know if these are people that have like rabbis that could even call them. These are like rabbi-less individuals. These are God-less individuals. These aren't people that have God in their lives. So it's not like we can get all the rabbis together and like sit them down and have a sit down. Well, they're going to listen to the rabbi. They're not even listening to God. How
Oh, those are the renegade Jews. Oh, okay.
they're going to listen to a rabbi. But I'm with you on the fact that there should be no Jew involved.
You make us want to walk around with a backpack, go into the slums, and get it up. Because it's up, man. It's up, man.
Yeah, I had this phone call coming in. It shuts it off. But I'm with you. If there was like a march against Jews who are promoting drugs and violence in the African American community and creating a poisonic, toxic environment for you guys, I'm on your team. That's totally evil. But
for you guys, you just said we the original Hebrews. Didn't you just say we the original Israel? These are African Americans, right? You said that there's something to it about being original Israelites. And now it's you guys. So even when you admit that we are original Israel, it's still something separate from you, which has us looking at you sideways, Jack.
But like I said, I think these Jews finding these roles are serving something darker and higher than themselves. They're not the boss. Like, they're getting a paycheck from someone also. And that someone's the guy that the ADL is like, don't get to him. Like, don't get to the top of the ladder, who these guys working for. You can't talk about that. And so I'm always curious, like, who's really calling the shots,
Maybe it's a black man.
Because it's not the Jewish people. It's some darker fraternity stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Whoa, darker treaties.
To the best of your knowledge, who do you think, or in your opinion, who do you think those higher up people are, and where do you think the separation came between Jewish executives in Hollywood and music and yourself? Let's just put it like that.
I think the guys who are really at the top, you don't get to know their names because they pay for you not to know who they are, So the names that we're even given are the names that they let us get, So you're going to throw out like, Rockefeller and this name and that name. Those are the names they gave us access to. The names that we don't get access to is because they're the ones who are owning the wealth of the world, calling the shots with wars, and creating agendas to manipulate humanity. But where it stops and, separates me from these individuals is they give an allegiance to something that's not Jewish. These guys are all part of fraternities, whether it's Masonic or, their clubs from college, with their Greek symbols and their cults and their rich.
Whoa. So he's taking all the accountability from the same people he just said set the table, the same people Kyrie and Kanye just said are running all these companies. And the dark, sinister people must be people from college fraternities. These same people got to get jobs from you guys. Oh, you're just talking about the Moors behind the scene? You saying that the Moors are still in control? You talking about the Masons? So you're saying that black people in power are really running this thing, and you're just getting a paycheck? I mean, y'all leave a comment and let me know what this rabbi really saying right here, because I think he's saying something, and it might not be false. It might just go right along with what we feeling. It's not about pointing the finger at nobody. We want to know the truth, but everyone got blood on their hands.
And this name and that name. Those are the names they gave us access to. The names that we don't get access to is because they're the ones who are owning the wealth of the world, you know, calling the shots with wars, you know, and creating agendas to manipulate humanity. But where it stops and, you know, separates me from these individuals is they give an allegiance to something that's not Jewish. You know, these guys are all part of fraternities, you know, whether it's Masonic or, you know, their clubs from college, their, you know, with their Greek symbols and their cults and their rituals. I know, you know, I don't want to get too deep into it until the right time is, because this is like even dangerous for me to be talking about this type of stuff, because we're up against a very dark force, you know. But these are people who get paid by these entities, are loyal to these entities, and the Jewish people are just trying to unite the tribes, the lost tribes, and build a temple for all humanity and bring world.
Stop it. You just said they set the table. Now you're just a victim of powerful blacks. The only thing that we can make as a comparison is this image right here of Charles V. See, that would make a lot of sense. If the people of Charles, let's just call them the people of Charles, so we're not, you know, name calling. People of Charles are still in power today. Is that what he's saying? That there's some niggas behind the scenes that's still running the show? Does that excuse the issues and any other straw man, whites or whoever in between, that are now having to bow down and beg for forgiveness? What are you asking for forgiveness of if you didn't do anything? I mean, if niggas just ran the show, what are they asking for forgiveness for?
We know he's being God and he no longer can be here. In honor of his legacy, we're not rioting, God. We're not shaming anybody, God. We're just humbling ourselves before you. Yes, Lord. You brought the thunder and rain today, God, because Satan takes us.
That's why you're asking God for forgiveness, because we know who we are.
Oh, yeah, baby. Yeah, that's right. You know what it is when I pop up here. You know I'm not coming to play. I'm here to drop these receipts. Because it's crazy how many people still think we from Africa. But this is a picture of a painting of the people that Columbus brought back with him to Europe. As you
Dark, quote unquote, dark, feathery, copper colored Nagas. Don't look nothing like the Tonto images of today. The washed out, whitewashed images of today. These are black Indians, right? Black people. These are Hebrews. The same Hebrews that the brothers sitting there asking this Jewish person questions. The same Hebrews that Kanye talking about and Kyrie talking about. Right in our Facebook. And you read sources such as James Adair and just surf the wave to see the connection between these Hebrew people and these indigenous, American connection. Connect the Mexica, the Mexicans. My only issue, I got a few issues. I'll talk about the Black Panther thing later. But yeah, they made it lovable for everybody. So-called Mexicans, so-called Latin, so-called Hispanics today can look and see their images on Kukulkan and all this whole culture, and it all looks like them now. It's Hollywood, man. In reality, that would be a black-on-black situation going on in Black Panther. You dig?
You can see here, he's kissing the king and the queen's hands. And as you can see here, you see the people he brought back with him. I'm going to show you in this video how we are not from Africa. This is a document you can read yourself. I'll help you out. It says right here, out of the 640 crops grown in Africa today, almost 600 of them are native to here, America. It also says beans, squash, pumpkin, peppers, strawberries. There was a European strawberry, but it was inferior to the American strawberry. Vanilla, chocolate, wild ripe, tomatoes, all American natives unknown to Europe, Africa, and Asia before 1492. Now, since we've seen all the crops and we know all the crops come from the mother, Tamari, what we know today as America, this is a graph of where all the Earth's surface drinking water comes from. As you can see here, North America has 36%, the other half of Tamari has 12%. All told, 48% of the Earth's drinkable water. And as you can see here, Africa only has 9%. So how do you be a mother when you don't have no food or water? Also, I showed the milpa planting system, also known as the Three Sisters, a supportive root system of maize, squash, and beans. But that's not the only thing we planted. This is a document on how we built the forests. As you can see here, it started at the home garden, then the plant tree nursery. Then when they were old enough, they got cycled into the forest. As you can see here. Here go another document to show you this is the first continent that rose out of the ocean. As you can see here, it was the first among continents. Peace to the gods and the goddess of the world.
And wouldn't that make sense that these are the Hebrews and Hawa's people that are being hidden, that are popping off? You see, as you can see here, we have way too many receipts for y'all to be playing with us. Yeezy say it's up for a reason, my nugget. Yeezy say it's up for a reason. The Jewish are now blaming it on King Charles and that. They're blaming it on the powerful war that they're just benefiting from. These whites are asking for forgiveness because they're benefiting. They've benefited. They have land today, real estate today. They had all these opportunities on the necks of our people. Yeah, we know what a knee to the neck feel like, man. So what's this Jewish talking about, man?
World peace. There's like two totally different realities. And I think if you looked at the last few hundred years of Europe, when these Jews started joining these fraternities and getting involved in the banks and the wealth and financing wars, they started taking on customs and traditions that had nothing to do with the Jewish people in the Torah. So there's just this divide going on, and the Jewish people aren't so aware of it. So part of my job is to explain it, and even part of the Jewish prophecies and our legends, we believe within the Jewish people there will be a dark side in the future that we're going to have to deal with. My ancestors taught this 400 years ago. I was a famous rabbi. I speak about this, and so I have a job to educate my people of stop defending the evil within us, because that's going to hold us back from the ingathering, the redemption, and uniting with the lost tribes of Israel, which seems part of them came to America on these slave ships. So there is an agenda.
You want to unite as a convert to the original? It sounds like you want to graft yourself into the tree.
That doesn't want, like I said before, your community and my community building. That's the last thing they're going to want. They're going to want us to be divided, calling each other enemies, and do everything in their power to make sure a healthy conversation doesn't come out of what's going on.
Oh, it's a healthy conversation, and you just admitted that you set the table and it's not fair. And then you spin it on the powerful blacks, right? For the dismount. One more rabbi.
The Torah, it says that God gave the Jewish people the land.
But Zionism also claims exception because of the Holocaust. Now, you just attributed the phrase to Theodor Herzl, the solution to the Jewish problem.
Yes.
And that will have raised ears all over the world because that's the phrase that most people attribute to Hitler. Now, the idea that the Jews need a safe country in order to prevent the possibility of another Holocaust, in order to solve the persecution of Jews throughout millennia, is one of the founding principles of Israel. You don't think that holds any water either?
The Holocaust was God's will, and we don't question God. God is compassionate and so forth, but we have to be introspective, understand why it came. We believe that God will be exacting with the punishment for the Nazis, but at the same time to take the issue of the Holocaust and to take that and to use it to rebel against God, when God specifically told us, do not attempt to make your own state. And to
Hold up. He's saying some facts, but he just said that God's going to exact punishment on the Nazis. What about forgiving them like the Christians? What about forgiving them? Why shouldn't y'all just forgive them? You want us to forgive you? Why would God need to exact punishment? Just forgive them. See what I'm saying? That's a different type of forgiveness. That's a different type of doctrine.
God's will, and we don't question God. God is compassionate and so forth, but we have to be introspective, understand why it came. We believe that God will be exacting with the punishment for the Nazis, but at the same time to take the issue of the Holocaust and to take that and to use it to rebel against God, when God specifically told us, do not attempt to make your own state, and to use that to take the land from the Palestinian people, is taking the people that died because they were Jewish, and to sort of dig them up and use them to rebel against God. It couldn't be anything worse for these people who died as Jews.
But you have to understand that the desire to be with a like community, the desire to commune with people of the same religion is a very strong one, and to have a homeland has got to be
emotional feeling.
But you're also saying that a defining feature of being a Jew is exile.
A defining feature is accepting that there is a ruler to the world who's compassionate, and it is medicine for the Jewish people, as Rabbi Samson Fulhurst, the head of the German community, wrote, that God is compassionate, and his will, since the destruction of the temple, was that he's good in his punishment. He wanted us to break our haughtiness, so he had us dispersed amongst the nations. At the same time, it was accomplishing a blessing for the world if we would be following the Judaism, because we are people who would be teaching the world of compassion, of serving God. So it serves twofold. It serves two purposes.
Anybody getting taught by these people, or are you teaching the world about compassion? I ain't seen a teacher. You never come in any neighborhood in America teaching about any type of code keeping, compassion about nothing. You don't want to teach us nothing. You want us to be blind, deaf, and dumb.
Unfortunately, if we don't do what we're supposed to be doing as Jews, it doesn't accomplish that purpose.
I am not a learned scholar of matters Jewish, so I can't argue with you, but I know there are many who would. There is a strain within Israel itself, within the state of Israel, started, I think, by Rabbi Kook, perpetuated by a number of names in modern Judaism, who say, no, it's perfectly compatible with the writings of the Torah that we have a state of Israel, and in fact, it not only makes political sense, it makes religious sense too.
Yeah, well, that is why I said I'm not requiring anybody to become a scholar in Judaism, but if you just step out of the box, let us just say, and go to Jerusalem, go to New York, go to in London, Stamford Hills, the religious communities, the Ivy League of Judaism, the rabbinical colleges, you will see that the most religious communities, every one of them, they are anti-Zionist, and they, for instance, in Williamsburg, you won't find one Israeli flag. The majority of Jews in Jerusalem and Palestine won't send their children to the army, and they don't fly Israeli flags on their buildings because it is contradictory. It is diametrically opposite.
What about the settler movement? I mean, they present themselves as being religiously based and very fundamental.
Yes, there is the issue that they fuse together Zionism. They've hijacked the name Israel, the Star of David. They're using this, and what they're doing is they've been able to, by incorporating the Jewish feelings, for instance, they call themselves the beginning of God's redemption. They do agree that we were sent into exile by God, the ones who aren't non-believers, which many of them are, but the ones who do believe, they say, yes, God sent us into exile, but we are the beginning of God's redemption, and they've been able to ensnare The youth, mostly from, these are all from, almost entirely from non-religious homes or marginally religious. They are not the mass, the general populace of Jewish religious people. These you will find in, call it the silent majority, all the communities that are opposed to these settlers. These settlers are definitely a minority that are always in your face. You will see them because they're up front. They're agitating, they're creating this terrible situation, but they don't represent Judaism. But being that they created in Palestine, their homeland, so now they're breaching every concept of thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not steal, and it's being done, creating rivers of blood.
Y'all been breaching the
This
contract.
$49 light bulb security camera is disrupting the video surveillance industry in the
You're killing.
Because of hate around the world.
Now, you used the phrase a moment ago, taking land from the Palestinians, which again is a problematic one for a lot of Western educated Jews and non-Jews alike. There is an argument, which is very much in the news right now, that there is no such thing as a Palestinian people, and there is an argument that says the lands that we are talking about never belonged to anybody called Palestinians. So what do you mean by taking Palestinian land?
You can tell he has a Zionist battery in his back, man. He's like, nah, man, Palestinians don't exist, man.
You know, the Zionists would love to get into some technical jargon and technical. What are you saying? There's not a Palestinian people and the land. We're talking as individual dwellers in Deir Yassin, in town after town and town, that we have many of our Jewish colleagues who are presently still living in the occupied Palestine there in Jerusalem, and they remember how they lived in total harmony with their Muslim and Arab neighbors, and they live there. The majority of people reside. But
what do you say to Newt Gingrich, who says
Muslim.
these are all Arabs? They're not Palestinians, they're simply Arabs.
Again, these are technical terms to confuse the person. The fact is, the majority of people were non-Jews. They were Muslims and Arabs living in this area, whether it would be under Turkish or British mandate. That's neither here nor there. But they are the indigenous people who they either left because they were attacked as in Deir Yassin, or they ran away out of panic because they've seen what happened in these towns. And therefore, as a Jew, which is what people call human rights, we call godliness, we are forbidden to steal their land.
So let me just paraphrase, if I could, what you told us so far. The state of Israel has no legitimacy. It shouldn't exist at all. Sure. That Jews are responsible for rivers of blood, as you put it, in the Palestinian lands. That the Holocaust is not sufficient reason to override the basic Jewish premise that the Jews should not have a land of their own. I may not have quoted you entirely accurately, but even if someone like me were to even hint at thinking like that, I would be branded anti-Semitic. I would be vilified in the mainstream media. Yes. So the question is, are you anti-Semitic?
That is the beauty.
They just asked the Jewish if he's anti-Semitic. And for the dismount, I want to get Malcolm X's replies. Let's go.
Beautiful ploy of Zionism that they can intimidate anybody who stands in opposition to their blatant, inhumane treatment of the Palestinians. And mind you, we will show you with God's help that they're
vilified in the mainstream media. Yes. So the question is, are you anti-Semitic?
So if they would do it to their own people, bruh, you already know it's going to come to Malcolm X, it's going to come to Kyrie, and it's going to come to Ye, because Yeezy said it.
That is the beautiful ploy of Zionism, that they can intimidate anybody who stands in opposition to their blatant, inhumane treatment of the Palestinians. And mind you, we will show you with God's help that they're brutally beating the Jewish inhabitants, who nobody can accuse us of being.
Oh man,
we're holiday ready with fast and reliable delivery, serving every address in America. USP.
They got a.
Have you been drinking?
No. It's a hijack at every corner. Yeah, if they would call him anti-Semitic, what did Malcolm say, man? Malcolm X told the truth about white Jews. I should say like a South Park, man. Jew. Let's go, man. Come on, man. For the dismount, my nugget. I had enough of this talk. We're going to be talking about false witnesses. That's a perfect segue into false witnesses around here, man. Anti-Semitic. Man, this is crazy. Loud.
Anti-Semitic. You've many of the things that I've read about you, and you've made a mention a couple of times about the Jews and everything, and I'm wondering if you are personally anti-Semitic.
No. How can I be anti-Semitic when the Arabs are half the Muslim world is Semitic? If I was anti-Semitic, I'd be anti-Arab and anti-everything else. No, I think that in this country, there's one mistake that the Jews make. They put themselves in a position where whenever anybody gives an objective analysis of the role that they play, they defend themselves by accusing you of being anti-Semitic. And a Negro is not anti-Semitic when he says that the man...
Ain't this the same thing the rabbi just said? He was called anti-Semitic by this jabroni. He said this is a bully tactic, a ploy. Anybody that goes against their agendas being called this made-up word.
That the Jews make, they put themselves in a position where whenever anybody gives an objective analysis of the role that they play, they defend themselves by accusing you of being anti-Semitic. And a Negro is not anti-Semitic when he says that the man who's exploiting him in his community is white, because it is a white man who owns all the stores. Now, is it an accident that these whites who own these stores are Jewish? If it's an accident, then the fact that he says the Jew on the corner is exploiting me isn't an anti-Semitic statement. It's just more descriptive of the man who's exploiting him.
It's called hashtag facts. And again, we can't be anti-Shemitic when we're all Shem, including Ishmael, right?
Anti-Semitic.
You've many of the things that I've read about you, and you've made a mention a couple of times about the Jews and everything, and I'm wondering if you are personally anti-Semitic.
No. How can I be anti-Semitic when the Arabs are half the Muslim world is Semitic? If I was anti-Semitic, I'd be anti-Arab and anti-everything else. No, I think that in this country, there's one mistake that the Jews make. They put themselves in a position where whenever anybody gives an objective analysis of the role that they play, they defend themselves by accusing you of being anti-Semitic. And a Negro is not anti-Semitic when he says that the man who's exploiting him in his community is white, because it is a white man who owns all the stores. Now, is it an accident that these whites who own these stores are Jewish? If it's an accident, then the fact that he says the Jew on the corner is exploiting me isn't an anti-Semitic statement. It's just more descriptive of the man who's exploiting him.
Hashtag facts, my naga. We've been kicking facts on facts. You know, I had enough, man. Sons of Gomer, Ashkenazis, Nazis, Ashkenazis. It's a family affair. We got our own tribe to deal with in Asia. I said in Asia. I said in Asia, boss. Once you realize where we are, then everything we saying starts to make a lot more sense. Keep surfing the wave and the drop, chatter. I don't think you can hear no sounds in space, but NASA says they're capturing sound in a vacuum, boss. We'll be back with some Flat Drop 101. ThaWaDa to the tribe. ThaWaDa to the cons for your patience. I'm glad we got our sound popping. I got positive thinking, man. We enjoying our flow. We enjoying our investigation. And we taking a victory lap for Hawaii. ThaWaDa to the tribe. Allow.